Welcome back, 13 Card Subject Exchange, the show that is going to try to make it through today's show despite everything that's happened throughout the day already.
I don't know. We're like 10 seconds in, and that doesn't work for me, brother.
Well, Jesse, we have to get to a certain situation involving that at some point. We'll get to that here in a little bit.
Unlike you, I know I will say over here and say a small, quiet prayer to help us through the day.
That works. All right, first and foremost, we're going to get it out of the way because it was the biggest thing in wrestling in the last 48 hours. So, a certain person that we are 2 degrees of separation from here in the local area has had a bit of a Twitter spat with someone who we'll call one of Jesse's goats. Most people's indie goat.
He's called Phenomenal.
Yeah.
But.
Okay, but Jesse, basically what came up was this very strange argument that constantly goes into fan is short for fanatic.
Sure.
And apparently when fans learn too much, they start to pretend that they know how everything works.
Sure.
Look, I don't deny that watching a sport doesn't make you better at it because you learn the ins and outs. You learn what you probably should or shouldn't do. Meanwhile, I am not going to pretend that because I have watched so much hockey, I can skate like Quinn Hughes. No one is going to prepare you for that.
I've never pretended that I know more about quarterbacking than Tom Brady just because I've watched football.
Yeah, you're from Minnesota and stuff. You might know how to skate, but you're not that good.
I'm not Quinn Hughes. You watch the guy play, and even Tony John Braggett was just like, I've watched a lot of hockey players. Dude actually made things change when he was on the ice, the way that he skates. But anyway, basically we got into a realm of, and I've just come to the conclusion that the internet is looking for everyone. There was a time in sports, whether it was wrestling, whether it was baseball, basketball, football, or hockey, that the next generation, we wanted the sons to be as good as the fathers. We rooted for that. Sometimes to our detriment, let's be honest. And yet, for some reason, we've reached an era where everyone is so into the term Nepo baby that they want to believe that Avery Styles is walking around every single show that he is currently using for experience and telling everyone, my father is AJ Styles, despite the fact that AJ Styles has no affiliation with any of these companies in any way whatsoever, and is currently busy being a part-time trainer at the NXT Performance Center due to a knee injury to a coach down there.
Yeah.
So,
and he's a talent evaluator.
Yeah, a talent evaluator. So, I just want to point something out that as a seasoned 6+ year ring crew member, I have never once in my time expected the contracted paid talent of the evening to do anything to help us. If they so chose to, I saw that as a thank you.
Right.
But I never, whether we were fully staffed or whether it was literally me and 3 other guys, because sometimes it is. Yeah. I have never asked the talent to deal with it. I will say here on air, to break the fourth wall for a little bit, I have told all the group involved many times, hook up the ropes and wait for talent to deal with tightening the ropes. Yes, folks, Charles Robinson is the head ring crew guy at WWE. Man is paying dues. I don't know what dues Charles Robinson still has to pay. The internet's weird. Yes, folks, there are sometimes talent, especially in the indie scene, who are coming up in the area, and they are currently being mentored by the bigger talent in the area, and they will help out with the ring because that is how they have been taught and trained by their local school.
Sure.
Now, I am not here to pretend that I know how to teach someone how to become a pro wrestler. So there are plenty of more talented people. Ken Anderson, the Academy School of Professional Wrestling, and Caitlin Diamond at the Hive are way more talented at doing this than I am. I am not going to sit there and tell them how to teach someone to get successful, because both of them, regardless of what you people think about the WWE Vince version, Jesse, they both did pretty well in their careers.
By the way, I do want to say, I want to add on to what you said, so, to kind of go off of, this is behind the scenes a little bit, to go off of Caitlin's school.
Yeah.
She's done a couple seminars with Discover Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
And sometimes a couple of those talents have been there early to help us with the ring. And by the way, that's awesome. That's awesome. But Yeah, it's never as a ring person and someone who's helped with the cruise, it's never been something where we're like, man, we can really use the wrestler's help. No, we just
while
do
I will
our
say
stuff.
2 more things on this subject, and then I will leave it to you two gentlemen because I'm not going to rant the whole time on this subject. Number one, I have never in my life, like Jesse said, worried about what a paid talent to be there. And by the way, sometimes those guys are being paid pretty well to be there.
Sure.
My job is to make sure that their day is taken care of. I've done that. It's the way that I do things. And number 2, I'm sorry. I would like everyone to understand that there used to be, because this past weekend, it's so sad I couldn't go. This past weekend, arguably the greatest weekend in the history of banana ball ever, happened in my home stadium.
Yeah.
I want to point something out. The only way we could
Didn't have 3 games down at Target.
Yeah.
just pointing out the only way that just pointing out because I'm going to say it before anyone else does. Target Field will now go back to being empty, not because it's closed, but because the Twins suck. Anyway,
Well, they're going to be in a cornfield then Thursday.
Still playing for a playoff spot.
the Pohlads will be right. Fuck. Anyway, hold on. Moving on.
They're playing in a cornfield
I
this
want
week.
to point out that.
The
Field of Dreams.
Dreams.
I want to point out
I'm gonna
that,
watch
ladies
that.
and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Target Field, when it was first created, I don't remember the breed of tree, but there were trees in center field
Yes.
that were asked to be removed by the hitters in the ballpark.
They weren't oaks. I think they were a couple of them were apple
Spruce
trees.
or something. No, it was
Yeah,
like
but
spruce,
most of them
yeah.
were spruce,
But anyway,
yeah.
they were asked to be removed by the
Norway spruces are big.
by
can
batters.
get,
Baseball stadiums are designed specifically for the weird intricacies that people need to be able to play a game. That's why, even though I know he was never going to pitch 20 years, I always loved Tim Lincecum because there's no way that guy didn't fucking destroy his shoulder every time he threw a baseball. But basically, to pretend like your favorite athletes have not needed almost everything done for them outside of the game itself, I'm not mad at the athletes for needing certain things done. I'm also not mad at a contracted talent for not setting up a couple of chairs, which is what I believe, and I want to give credit to this guy, at least Joe Lando said being at the show. Again, I will now take a side, but I just want to point out on my final note, which was the point I was trying to get to, it is also a company-by-company based thing because 9 times out of 10, like Jesse said, a company will work with a local training facility and they will decide, hey, we're a little short on ring guys. If your up-and-coming talent would like to come and help us, they are not obligated to, but the help would be appreciated.
Right.
I will now give it to you guys, but I am just saying that is my thoughts on it. This got way more press coverage than it needed to be for a 19-year-old who, folks, guess what? And this is my actual last statement. Was just unfortunately given an opportunity that most of you never got. I'm not going to hate the kid for it. Jesse?
So, by the way, hopefully no one got that on recording, but I had to burp.
Yep.
Here's the thing. I guess the best way I could go about it is this. Thanks to you guys, I kind of got back into the whole helping people crew stuff.
Yeah.
Because I had only done it a couple times in the past, and I used to travel for my shows to like New Japan and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, New Japan was usually against it, but sometimes because they were, especially when they first started here in America, they were very big on their talent, putting everything together.
Yeah.
That young up-and-coming talent.
But again, that's the company.
Because that's the dojo,
Yep.
and that's the way they want you to come up. They want you to know everything
Yeah.
about the game. So, but even then, like, working with any company out of any state, and then coming in and be like, if they're still building, even if I was paying to go in, and just asking, hey, do you guys need a little help with it? Looks like you guys could be shorthanded. Anytime the promoter's like, sure, we can use all the help we can get, even most of those promoters, I don't ever remember, like, telling us, hey, the talent's going to come do it, you don't have to do it, and just different things like that. Because, like, and here's what I mean by that, is I don't think I've ever worked with a crew or worked with a company and, like, the talent had to help us with anything. as far as like ring crew, people helping to set up the show and stuff like that. Now, as you mentioned, and I mentioned, it's a company by company thing. I'm sure some companies, I have seen some companies do it. I know people, for WWE like to point out Charles. Well, Charles has been doing this for like 35, 40 years. So it actually only makes sense that WWE would go, one of the most seasoned referees we have who knows a lot about the ins and out of a ring should be the head of our crew.
But it's not saying that Charles Robinson is trying to prove a point. It's a job he's paid to do.
It's a job. He actually wears 3 hats in the company.
And Jesse, here's the other thing I want to point out.
Because, by the way, they actually have very well-paid ring staff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And before we let Leroy finish up this topic, I want to pull it back to something that Jesse and I have both been very involved in. Jesse, there's a reason why the biggest bands in the world usually don't like to have a new guitar tech every single time they go on tour.
No, you usually want someone who's, even if you don't know them, at least they're experienced.
Yeah. Come with recommendations from other bands.
Correct. Now, if it's someone you're better off because then you can kind of work with pay and all that.
But Jesse, a lot of times, sound check, it's the techs. It's the drum tech. It's the bass tech. It's the guitar techs.
Right.
You can't really do a sound check for vocals. You just kind of check the mic.
Right,
but Jesse, the band very rarely, when they get to a certain level, they're not doing their own sound check. Because they have people to do it for them.
Because most of the time, especially like a bigger band, now they have obligations for autographs and things like that before a show, which is insanely important as well to marketing. So,
and also, regardless of whether people like it or not, keeping the headliner away from the crowd until the moment they come out,
it's kind of a big deal.
Does actually build anticipation for what's going to happen. Right. So it just is what it is. But again, you all think.
Now, by the way, there are some people will bring up Turnstile. Actually, do a lot of their own stuff. Which is cool.
Well, I saw Turnstile when they were with, I believe that was Sleep Token.
Okay.
I believe they brought them on tour.
And I've been told in the past, even recently, that at a festival they were at, the tech set up their stuff, but they went and did their own tests and then came back off and then came back on because they like the old school style of when they used to just do the house shows. And I respect that. If that's how you as a band get down and get yourself going, I respect the shit out of that. Go for it. And trust me, I'm sure promoters are all right, cool. That means we're not paying them as much money to set up your shit. That works for us.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think for me, if I would think if you kind of want that done, you have that discussed beforehand.
Well, that's the other thing, Jesse.
So that way there's not
that's the other thing, Jesse.
issues.
Whether it's entertainment, sports, or it's fucking life in general, you and I always say, did we negotiate something? Because if not, we're not having this conversation after it didn't happen.
Right.
I also would like to point out, before we finish up with Leroy, I have not heard a word from Brett Lauderdale and GCW on the subject. So something tells me that they probably didn't think this was going to be a thing. Now, based on what's happened, they'll probably have to address it at some point.
I would think so.
But I've noticed they've stayed in the background before, and I would like to point out that this whole thing could have ended with a simple tweet from GCW that either Avery was a complete douchebag because we had asked and this didn't happen, and then they can deal with that later, or they could just come out and say, Jesse, we contracted the guy to show up. It was never an obligation we discussed, and this is a big misunderstanding. There's two ways to go about this.
To me, and then Leroy, I'm going to let you go. It feels like a lot of this, because I'm not bashing anybody here. It feels like a lot of this could have been handled with a couple phone calls.
Yep.
And I respect all sides of it.
Yep.
But it's just if in this case, it feels like it could have been handled by just a couple of phone calls. But Leroy, go ahead.
Although to be fair, a lot of things could be handled with a couple of phone calls, but that's the culture.
But welcome to entertainment, and now we have social media. But yeah, it feels like this could have been handled that way. Go ahead.
Well, I said this, and I read the tweet and everything, and somebody said, hey, he's paying his dues. And as Zach has said, and people have said before, sometimes when you're writing a message, you don't always have to hit send.
Don't hit send.
Because
Herm
that was old Coach Herm Edwards.
You
Coach.
can be upset of way that somebody said a statement. Okay, if you want to say something in that statement, you can say, hey, this is how I feel like are paying your dues, but he didn't do that.
I also want to point out.
Okay, so what?
I also want to point out this whole thing started because of a tweet from the guy's father. Before we even talk, like seriously, because Leroy, you'll always say this too. Before we get to legendary wrestler, he's the father of the guy.
Actually, it's a little worse than that. It started from a tweet from Natalia.
Yeah.
That's what I said. She said, "Hey,
I'm not even blaming her. I'm just
right.
saying where it all started from.
But her statement is like, he's paying his dues.
Yeah.
Which it's for every wrestler or every person. When somebody says you're paying your dues, it's different. He's paying his dues because of his father, he could be jetted right to the WWE.
Well, but here's the other thing.
Center.
Here's the other thing, Jesse.
But he's not. He's working.
Yeah.
Indie shows, and he's learning the way his dad
fair.
did.
Yeah. But
So
also,
he is
but also
working his
on that
dues.
note, Jesse, this will be the last thing, and then we'll move on.
Sure.
We are living in an era where people are so enamored by 99% of them fake content creators. Hashtag paid partner. Yeah, you're making like $20. Stop acting like you're fucking living in a mansion in Malibu because a fucking sandal brand saw that you had 100,000 followers on TikTok. Go fuck yourselves. Trust me, folks. I know how a lot of these brand deals work because I deal with them. So it's like we're not going to pretend like. But anyway, Here's the deal. People are so desperate to want to get out of whatever situation they're in that they're willing to rip other people down and not understand that, guess what, America, regardless of what anyone wants to believe, the rich white man CEO whose daddy bought the company 100 years ago, that's not the example of every person that's ever done anything.
Right.
Jesse Stowe didn't become a New York City cop just because his dad was there.
No.
Because first of all, that's not how the NYPD works. But second of all, guys, professional athletes for years have wanted their kids to do other things. Brock Lesnar's kid couldn't make it to the Olympic team on Brock Lesnar's name alone. No, because unfortunately, you know what she has to do? She might be a world-class person at it. She might have break a world record for women and or men's shot put. Unfortunately, if she doesn't score high enough at the trials in 2026, 2027, she's not making the Olympic team.
Correct.
But that's how the Olympics work.
Right.
In the NBA, and I'm still not mad about it because LA Lakers, you want to pretend like you were anything before LeBron James got there? That's funny. Anyway, seriously, nobody was living on lore more than the Lakers before LeBron got there. Let's be honest.
It was bad at the end of Kobe's career and after he left. Yeah, it was.
But the thing about it is that, oh no, thank you for A, making us relevant, and B, actually winning a championship. He did. Sorry, America. We're going to draft your kid with a meaningless 55th pick in the second round. Oh no, that's Nepo Baby, who was a projected first rounder on a lot of people's boards before he got sick, but then the fucking hype died down because, he had to relearn how to play basketball for a year because it was a heart condition.
Right.
Funny how that works. But oh no, first of all, this is the funniest joke on the internet. Oh no, a black man finally used his privilege and all of a sudden everybody's mad about it.
It's like it was such a big deal.
And number two, guys, I don't know where people think that Caitlin Clark asked the WNBA to do anything for her. There's no reports of this, and I think Kathy Engelbert is currently welcoming, not necessarily that she's in welcoming of it, but she's letting it in that you've got former players who were half-assed at best declaring for the WNBA draft because they won't define a woman, blah, 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 this and that. She won't just fucking pull up her britches and deal with it. So she's letting it fester, and she's letting it fester that Caitlin Clark was handed something, and so the rest of the league, sorry folks, being jealous, there's no other way to put it, are turning around and saying, pay us what you owe us. Okay, that's fair. We're going to pay you like the men, who net $40 billion a year, and you net $40 million negative. See, it's funny. The color black, they love it, Jesse, when it's on a fucking piece of paper. But when it's you guys, it's weird. But anyway.
It's true.
Again, privilege. It's not always equal. But you know what's funny? The majority of these people that speak, they're in America. You have a shot, but you have to go with what's in front of you. How many times do I have to explain to people, and I'm not lying when I say this, the bands that you saw get big, get huge, that, used to have to pay dues. Yeah, Jesse played with them.
Yeah.
Jesse played with a lot of them.
I did.
But Jesse knows that, you know what? I wasn't Gerard Way, and I'm not going to get mad at him.
Right.
Who, by the way, once again, I always love to say this out loud, created one of the greatest emo punk rock bands as a side project.
Sometimes it's okay to just be honest, like, hey, we weren't good enough. We weren't good enough, and that's fine.
And I do want to say props.
Watch your own bobber for fucking 5 minutes, and you'll realize that your life sometimes really isn't as bad as you think it is.
Right.
And I give credit to that good Hall of Famer that was defending his son, which I would do, but he went to a certain point, then he stopped because he's a respectful human being, and if he needed to go farther, he went and found that person.
I also don't know
and
why.
Talked to him face to face instead of shooting back and forth.
Also,
on
by
social
the way,
media.
if this was just like, let's say, a student or like someone that AJ knew well, probably wouldn't have gotten to this level. But it was his kid, so I know that the father instinct kicked in. But I just want to be clear that what I hate the most is the majority of people that have opinions. You are fans. Accept that. I'm a fan as well, but as Jesse has had to explain to a lot of people over the years, whether it's music or wrestling, we're fans who have now had access long enough to know a little bit more. We don't overstep our bounds of what we don't know.
I never overstep, and that's the thing.
But there's certain things that you can speak on because you've been involved in them.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, am I to the level of Jim Ross, Michael Cole, Corey Graves? No. Do I know a thing of what it's like to sit on camera with a live mic and try to make a wrestling match bigger for a television audience? I can say I know something about it, but I'm not going to sit there and say, well, sorry, I won't say that. Hangman Adam Page already said it for me. I don't need to sit there and tell you, well, I don't need to listen to JR. You should listen to me. No. I'm not stupid. I'm not a fake cowboy from West Virginia. I am going to look at everyone and say, here's what I feel my experience is, but if you have a choice between me and JR, I'm picking JR over myself.
Well, you probably should.
Exactly.
But I think more people should look at AJ and the way he handled that situation and try to handle themselves like that and respectful.
Well, I think AJ to a point said a couple of things.
He did,
things
but he did
a little too far to one side. But again, Jesse,
I don't think
I would say this. He's also talking about his 19-year-old son, so I don't expect him to be as professional as if it was someone he didn't know personally.
I was going to say, that's his kid. Anything he says to defend his kid, I understand. Even if he was wrong, I'd be like, well, he's a dad, so of course he's going to step up
now,
for his
Jesse,
kid.
you are a little bit different
because by the way, I did say this, and I want to be clear. It's easy, and this is not a shot. It's a little bit easier to talk about AJ Styles' kid and Triple H's kid. Triple H has a heart that he's not going to physically do anything to you. What if it was Brock Lesnar's kid?
Jesse, as I told a bunch of guys on a golf course recently who didn't realize that Brock Lesnar's daughter was as successful as she is, there is a fucking offensive lineman in the NFL who is the only offensive lineman in the world who is currently living in fear of his father-in-law.
Of his father-in-law, because he's like, this is the one man in the world I probably can't do anything about.
Because let me be very clear. Brock retired because his people meter finally hit 0 and he doesn't want to replenish it. The physicalness of Brock Lesnar has not gone by any means.
I'd still say if aliens came down, we send Brock.
I'm sending Brock and Oba, but I'm sending Brock too.
Brock. Oba's his backup.
By the way, he did kind of officially retire on the Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Brock is so strange. I'm sure he told WWE after that match, like, this is done.
Yeah.
And Triple H probably had that same.
To be fair, Jesse, I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H and Brock didn't know on the road to SummerSlam that, you know what?
Well,
this is just the end. It's in Minnesota.
Right. It just makes sense.
As a dad, from that dad, me being a
Yeah.
dad, him being a dad. He looks at this. His daughter could be in the Olympics.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to work and my daughter was one of my kids, daughter or son was gonna make the Olympics, I would try to take most of my time to do that. And then his 2 other sons play hockey.
Well, even in retirement,
I want to see that.
We could still give him a Legends contract. He'll be fine.
Oh well,
Brock Lesnar will fly out if you pay him the $9 million that you're going to pay him for the night. He'll fly out in maybe in maybe a year from now and do a quick little one-off thing, but he's not going to go. He's not going to do stories anymore. He's not going to do this anymore.
By the way, I just thought about that.
Yeah,
I think the money that Saudi paid him for going over there and what Vince paid him before, I think he's fine.
Next year they could literally put 3 of those people from the OVW class into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah,
because Batista said he does have to. He might actually have the time at the beginning of next year finally to do it.
Yeah.
Batista. John Cena and Brock Lesnar all going at the same time.
That would be awesome.
That'd be epic.
Now a couple.
The only one left is Randy.
He's not going.
I know he's not retiring.
A couple of things
soon.
that I'm also going to address off rip because we're not going to make it into a bigger story. I am not 3 times. Yes, I get it. You're also talking about 3 people where it's just stuff happens. I'm not ready to label Fatal Influence as like this horrible group that's botching everything and doing this and doing that. Look, guys, it's professional wrestling. Rhea was probably due for something to happen at some point anyway, the way that she was going. Jesse's been talking about that forever on the show. Chelsea, it's unfortunate timing, but shit happens. Adrenaline's a bitch.
She'll be fine. I think people have.
Not to mention, if it's Chelsea Green, put her in a mask. We'll love it. The only thing Jesse hated about Rhea being, not stripped was Rhea wasn't there doing anything about it.
Well, now that she has the surgery, I'm just like, you can remove the interim because you just don't know when she's going to be back.
Because Chelsea made a shirt.
Yeah, that too.
Cody and The Undertaker both had horrible injuries and they still wrestled.
Right.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Chelsea Green, guys, yes, she's been hurt, but she's never talked about vacating the title. She's never talked about not wrestling for a while. And by the way, I'm still not going to label Fatal Influence as this horrible, we're going to botch and do everything kind of group to every. Like,
Fallon Henley just pinned Chelsea and everyone's pissed about that.
Well, my favorite part was people were like, well, we're already burying Chelsea. Guys, Chelsea is not the. Okay, we're going to go over this one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there are many people that are capable of being a world champ.
Yes.
Not all of them need to be booked as strongly as The Rock, Stone Cold, Brock Lesnar, or Hulk Hogan. Some of them can just be another person on the roster, but be the world champion.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green has never been someone that has ever been booked super duper strong because she does better when she's basically just vibing.
Well, even in the match, you saw her where she rolled out of the ring and she ran away from her opponent.
Yeah.
That's her, and that's how she is. Clara laughed at me.
Yes.
When she won, and she was like, "Oh my God, Dad."
Yeah.
Being soon to be teenage. I'm gonna have 2 teenagers in my fucking house soon.
Yep.
Pray for me.
But not even he can help you on that.
He will help me. I don't know how. To keep me away from the bottle.
Boy. All right.
But I mean, I laugh because she's just like, I'm a dork, but I'm generally excited because she won.
Yeah.
Because she's gonna be awesome, and then her eventual match with Rhea.
Yeah.
Part of me, Rhea's probably gonna win.
Yeah.
But there's a good part of me that going.
But I think that
please give it to Chelsea for longer.
But I think that when you have to look at the world of wrestling, let's look at how Mick Foley got to that fateful night on Raw and beat Triple H.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's be clear. Or The Rock, actually. God.
The Rock helped him.
Right, exactly. But anyway.
I think that was it against Triple H that he won?
He pinned Triple H, I believe, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The most infamous, and that was as people point out, that was the beginning of the end of the 83 weeks of WCW because it said, hey, everybody, Mick Foley is recorded, but he's going to win the title on this. And everybody goes, oh, really? And they turned the channel. it was a fun ploy for them to do that and spoil, but it said it backfired on them. But oh well, I think Chelsea will be fine. She'll give her a week off to rest her eye in her injury because of the swelling and stuff.
No, Leroy. I know too much wrestling keeps happening. I believe he beat The Rock.
Was it The Rock?
And Stone Cold screwed him over, didn't he?
Did you look it up?
Yeah.
Or did I? Oh, okay.
January 4th, 1999, and Mankind beat The Rock. Stone Cold interfered and hit The Rock with a steel chair, allowing Mankind to get the historic pinfall. So anyway.
Okay, yeah, I just couldn't. I knew The Rock was involved.
Yeah.
And I thought Triple H was, but hey,
but
Stone
again,
Cold, yeah. And Linda McMahon.
But yeah, exactly. But again, Mick Foley as Mankind was. Look, we knew that Mick Foley was a pawn in the middle of The Rock versus Stone Cold. We knew that Mick wasn't going to get the title for 6 to 8 months. We knew that The Rock and Stone Cold had this big clash that they were building to. That's how you develop a story, folks. Mm-hmm. It's very funny how that works.
And we were all surprised that Mick Foley was still there because he didn't die after getting thrown off a cage.
Well, there's that too. But anyway, that's my point, is that you don't book every single person who holds a certain championship the same way. Everyone knew that even though we did think he was a fan from Italy at the time, everyone knew that Santino Marella wasn't going to get the same type of booking as the guy he beat, Umaga. We knew that. So why are we all of a sudden sitting here being like, well, they've already buried Chelsea? Chelsea is better when she has something to bitch about, whether they like her or they hate her. I don't think you're going to be able to turn her heel for a while because everybody was behind her in that victory. But I still think Chelsea Green, being the genius that she is going to come up with something.
Now, here's a fun question.
That makes this work.
Here's a fun question. Santino Marella, everybody pronounces everybody's name, like Don China.
Yeah.
Would he mess up Chelsea Green's name? You think? And I would love to know what he would call. I can't
Chelsea
remember.
Green.
Chelsea Green?
Chelsea Gren.
Chelsea Gren. Oh, that would work.
But,
we're going to have to ask him about that
But
one.
Anyway, no. But, that's my point, is that Chelsea Green, after 1 week, is not buried as the WWE Women's Champion. Chelsea Green was beaten because the numbers game, again, wrestling is about maybe getting people to believe in something, and I believe that 3 is more than 2.
Yes.
I believe that 3 is more than 2, adding 2 other giants in the irresistible forces of Lash Legend and Nia Jax. So technically, Chelsea Green, it was 5 on 2. Mm-hmm. So folks, numbers, math makes sense.
And I see that Nia has been working out, so she has toned up and looks even better.
Stay on task there, Leroy.
No, I'm just saying.
Whilst I appreciate it, we've mentioned it 75 times on the show. Stay on task for 5 seconds. Okay, to my point.
I'm thinking she's
respond
looking good.
To my point.
Yes.
Don't try to be the nice Christian dad at the table. Respond to my point. You don't book every person the same just because they hold the same title.
And also somebody that's not kind of holding the same title on Raw that everybody was going to shift to Liv.
Yeah.
Oh, she hasn't defended in so many days. Okay, they had plans for a different outcome at SummerSlam. That was changed.
Yeah.
And then right after SummerSlam, what happened? One person showed up to go after that title.
Pretty big one, too.
And then all of a sudden, boom, somebody else returned.
A current favorite of many, yes.
Yes.
But again,
which does that
Liv Morgan is not supposed to be a fighting champion because she's a bitch.
She's a snarmy weasel heel like her on-screen boyfriend,
She
Dominic.
is the type of woman that you're not supposed to like her if you're the guy fans, because we all know as men, that type of girl, more headache than she's worth.
I know. She's like,
but Dominic's willing to deal with it, so we're going with Dominic.
Every guy's looking like, oh, she looks good. And then she opens her mouth like, oh, shit.
Yep.
Because she's the greatest of all. I'm not going to do as long as her because that would hurt.
Please don't do that. You don't have the lung capacity for it anyway. But the fact is that, again, guys, I'm gonna leave that
everything
about what was shown is Chelsea Green has never once, not anywhere she's ever been booked like Hulk Hogan, been booked like Triple H, been booked like the people who always walked away the victorious conqueror. Mm-hmm. She's not Brock. She's not Oba. Because, again, in wrestling, it has to make sense. Rhea Ripley is this badass powerhouse that has thrown people around like it's effortless. You book her strong. Chelsea, you book her like she's Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
The booking of someone doesn't change just because they turn around and they get a title. Now, let's say a big difference would be The Rock versus Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
Rocky Maivia, which is his original gimmick.
Yes.
When The Rock was given the belt, you booked him like The Rock. You didn't book him like Rocky Maivia.
And he had the IC title, which worked.
But that is the difference. We are doing a character change. We are giving you a completely different mentality of the performer. Chelsea Green is still Chelsea Green. Mm-hmm. So why would the booking change?
And I think they did a good job and put her on to have this title because when you look at it, it's like, could they have done Charlotte? Yeah. Could they have done who else? Oh, fucking who else was in there?
They could have had Tiffany win in her hometown.
Yeah, it was that Tiffany. Jade Cargo. Okay, but you know what? We've seen Jay and Rhea.
It's not even about that. It's not even about that. What it's about is the internet saying, again, these hot button buzzword terms that they feel they're right about and not understanding what it works. Chelsea Green.
Buried.
Yeah. Chelsea Green is not going to be booked.
They say that about my girl.
Jesse, all right, once again, because the internet claims to be New Japan stans. It's funny.
I would hope not. They're not watching right now. The G1 has started.
Yeah.
The greatest tournament on the planet.
Go ahead. Jesse,
I think,
hold on really.
Okay.
But Jesse, to my point, in New Japan, there have been guys who have won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, but they weren't booked the same way that they booked Okada when he won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
No.
Because, Jesse, funny story. In Japan, they actually like to stay with story-based mat wrestling.
They do.
It's funny. The Ace didn't out-wrestle his opponents. He fought from underneath most of the time and then showed off that he was still the Ace.
Right.
So when it was time to actually get the money, Jesse, the Ace showed up.
Right.
But until then, Tanahashi kind of got his bell rung a few times.
He usually got his ass.
But when Okada won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, they wanted to make him Japanese Rock.
Right.
So he was going to be dominant and out-wrestle a lot of his opponents.
Right.
Because that was how they told the audience he's no longer a young lion. Right. He is Kazuchika Okada. Like Leroy and I used the example earlier. It's kind of a direct correlation. The Rock was booked a certain way when he won the world title. Not the way he was booked when he was Rocky Maivia.
No.
So when Okada first comes up as a young lion, he's booked a certain way.
Sure.
But then they wanted you to believe this is the next guy.
Right.
So then he gets booked a certain way.
Right.
But Chelsea Green won the world title and then came out as Chelsea Green.
Right.
As the same Chelsea Green who went into the match.
Right.
So why would Chelsea Green all of a sudden win every match? Why would Chelsea Green all of a sudden out-technical wrestle the world? There's no reason to.
Right.
There's no reason for her to do that because that's not how Chelsea Green in WWE's been booked.
It's so weird. Fans constantly, I've always said, I mean this, and I'm not just saying this because I want Triple H to listen to. By the way, for everyone who has been subscribing and reaching out on YouTube, thank you. Get your friends to subscribe for free. Episode 301 is at like 300 views. It's awesome.
Also, go check out some of our favorite people wrestling from the 313 and Friends of the Squared Circle. All available on YouTube for free.
Friends wrestling from the 313. I think they release twice a week.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And Friends of the Squared Circle, he also releases 2 to 3 times a week. Go subscribe for free on YouTube. But yeah, wrestling fans frustrate the shit out of me because Triple H likes to say we really do try to listen to all the fans, and I'm like, if I had him in a room so we could interview him, I would tell him, unlike Vince, you actually have the ability to try to know all 3 sides of the fandom, because Vince only really listens to himself and then would go into public with Pat McAfee and fucking lie for like an hour. I'm like, well, that's why you're a good businessman, but you're shit at this now. I'm like, Pat could have not had me in that room because I'm like, I see why you're a good businessman, but you are shit at booking wrestling now, and I see why. But I would tell Paul, like, brother, I get it if you don't want to listen to fucking 2/3 of it sometimes. They're so wishy-washy, man. One week, oh, yeah, the right person won, and it's like, oh, you buried my person. Like, bro, can you let it play out? Can you let the story play out? So
we were praying for months. We need fresh female talent. We got it, and now we want to be like, wait, why are we hurting the girl that's already been there for?
What did Fallon Henley pin? Well, first of all, they cheated to win the match. That was
they're heels. It's funny how that works.
Completely fucking mad.
Yeah, they are heels.
Fallon Henley did not out-wrestle the WWE Women's Champion.
Also, you completely forgot about the interference from Nia Jax and Lash Legend.
Yeah.
So, the baby faces were completely outnumbered.
5-2, yes.
And then on top of
that changed after that anyway.
Because it's like, why couldn't Tiffany just lose? Either one of them could have lost. You missed the whole fucking story beat, clearly, for someone who knows so much.
Hey, Jesse, quick transition. In terms of missing the story, or in what you'll probably go off on this little rant, missing the plot completely, a little someone named Conrad Thompson had a little quote, and I thought to myself, I've got the foremost expert on Goldberg in here.
Yeah, repeat what he said, because
Roman Reigns is Goldberg if he wrestled over 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's the first time I've thought he was a fucking idiot. And I don't remember. Somebody told me like Eric's response was probably good enough, but to me it's not. Whatever Eric said probably wasn't good enough. First of all, as one fat fuck to you fat fuck, what are you talking about? What a stupid fucking opinion. Way better wrestler than Goldberg ever was. That's number one. 2, has probably in his career made the company, especially in the second major run, way more money than Goldberg made in 2 years for WCW. And then even if you, quote-unquote, include inflation. And then number 3, I hate to even say this because some of the shit with fucking President Trump. Joe is more likable. Always. Yes. Joseph in Hawaii is more likable than Bill fucking Goldberg. Period. End of discussion.
I do like Bill, but he was honest when he said nobody taught him really how to wrestle.
Nobody taught him just how to seem decent.
And he admits that.
He just comes off as an asshole. Like I told people, I didn't need Bret Hart, but for years I enjoyed Bret Hart. Hating on Bill Goldberg. Because I was just like, I don't need Bret Hart to do it. Because I'm a New Yorker, man. And Bret will tell you as a Canadian who wrestled a lot in New York, boy, we smell through bullshit pretty quickly. And it just, with Bill Goldberg, it was just like, God, this guy's full of shit. I still remember when he first got to WWE, and they went to New York, and he got half booed for the first time because people were cheering Triple H. I'm like, because New Yorkers can smell through your bullshit. I would rather deal with Triple H than you. Because there's not, you're just, and I remember he said it like, I miss being the hero for the kids. And I'm like, yeah, but to a lot of people, you weren't that believable of a hero. The reason Stone Cold got over because he felt like the everyman. The reason The Rock got over because he did feel like this larger-than-life, like Scarface-like character that everyone could love and respect. You just felt like the super athlete who didn't completely make it in football, and you were just destroying wrestlers. For some of us.
Yeah.
So, like, Conrad, what the fuck are you talking about? Bill Goldberg never did anything like the original Bloodline story. He's never done anything like the OTC character. Just nothing like it. Like, not even close. Was never an interesting character. Well, never that interesting of a character.
The only thing that interests about it is the streak that they fabricated and worked around.
Right.
That was his thing.
Like I said, I don't know what Eric Bischoff's response was. It wasn't, to me, whatever he might have said probably wasn't good enough. What a stupid fucking thing to say.
Oh, well.
I did see a lot of people get after him on that. And even people who don't even like WWE, I saw go, that's one of the biggest draws in pro wrestling because of character alone. What the fuck are you talking about?
Actually, unfortunately, Eric Bischoff was bored with Roman Reigns. He agreed with Conrad.
Wow.
Oh.
I would also feels the character has stopped evolving.
What, since the OTC stuff?
Yeah.
That's not completely true.
Well, okay. Before we go back to what Jesse said, which is what I'm not trying to do, I would like to go back to something that we talked about earlier, which is this thing called, hey, the babyfaces lost because it was 5-on-2. Let's talk some math here for a second, shall we? Roman Reigns is boring, overrated, and it's been going on too long. Okay, so a small section of the IWC, but it's millions of us. Okay, cool. Roman Reigns is still top 3 in merch, continues to be one of their biggest television drawing things, and continues to be a guy who adds pay-per-view numbers whether you people want to admit that he does or doesn't. So what's funny to me is that despite the fact that, yes, they are trying to overprice people, I feel like Caleb Hammer's sometimes trying to just have a basic conversation because now you're all going to make me defend TKO, which I don't want to do because I hate TKO. But it's funny. TKO seems to be listening to the majority of the fans who are buying the merch, buying the tickets, and watching the television shows that Roman Reigns is on.
Right.
So, once again, a bunch of people get together, and they all have a similar opinion. Well, that's the opinion of the collective. Well, it's very funny to me because the opinion of the collective is NFL is still king, folks. Don't care if you don't like the fucking league.
That
might
have been the greatest Hall of Fame game I've ever seen.
That was so good. More people will have watched the Hall of Fame game, which was a bunch of dudes that most of them ain't making the team. Will be working at UPS in about 3 months. The applications for UPS doesn't hire this time of year because the NFL is going to be sending a bunch of strong dudes there in about in 9
3
weeks.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's the thing, folks. Roman Reigns is still a bigger draw. Well, no, look at this, look at that. Regardless of what anyone wants to tell me, they don't look at SummerSlam as individual nights. Oh, we only did 35. Oh, we only did 37. They look at it as what SummerSlam did in the 2 nights. It's going to outdo All In, which has had a bit of a surge of tickets. That's great. Jesse, congrats to AEW. They might make 40,000 in a stadium that seats 90, and at one point they put reportedly 71,000 in. That math seems to add up pretty easily.
I do want to congratulate AEW. I do. I do. Like, I genuinely do. But sometimes it feels like we keep giving AEW participation trophies. Like, we keep giving AEW the participation trophy. So after you kind of almost filled it up, when you initially went there, you're all the way down to maybe, you'll get the 40,000. It's starting to look like, because there's a couple more weeks before the show. But I just want to remind you, you did do 70,000 plus the first time. Now, technically, it can do 90. It does 90 for football, but
It does like 65,000 for a here Sunday morning game, but over there Sunday evening game because of the time difference. It does that for a random game in fucking Premier League. By the way, Jesse, you're our resident football guy.
Sure.
Premier League isn't even the top league.
Well,
it's Champion League.
So
if you finish tops in the Premier League, you go up again.
No. With the Premier, it's Champions and then Premier. If we're talking about English football, Premier League is the top because, of course, Arsenal just won it for the first time in 20 years. Congrats to the up the arse. They were chanting for like 3 weeks. It was so funny. Up the arse. But regardless, I've seen second tier Premier League games. Just about fill that bitch up. As a matter of fact, they do a tournament in there for the teams playing in second tier who want to, because I think they move up 3 every year. 3 come down, 3 go up. Because West Ham just went down last year, which was a big thing. It was a big story, but a lot of people kind of saw it coming because they're piss poorly run. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that tournament did like 85,000. And the fact that you're going to do like 42,000 maybe.
Well, now back to the math before I let Leroy go here. Back to the simple math. This is the third All In. WWE at one point had WrestleMania 1. They had WrestleMania 2. Then at WrestleMania 21, it took place in Staples Center.
Right.
Seats a lot of people, big arena. All of a sudden, by WrestleMania 30, Jesse, we're in the Silver Dome.
Yeah.
We're in the Silver Dome.
Well, remember,
you want something to get...
WrestleMania 2, they did it in 3 different cities.
Yep.
Which was fucking ambitious, but they got it done.
Well, the first one they did it in 3 different.
Yeah, sorry, the first one. Yeah.
But again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, they want to do big. The Super Bowl at one point was considered in a lot of different stadiums because we'll go around. Yeah. Then it became this worldwide fucking phenomenon, and the NFL was like, you know what looks really good? California in fucking February.
Well, it's California and Florida in February.
Yeah. You know what looks like shit in February? New York.
Minnesota. Which, by the way, it was funny because they waited, and then I remember all the reporters bitching about how cold it was. I'm like, you're going to be in a heated stadium in like 6 days. Shut the fuck up.
It didn't look like shit. It just looked cold and snow.
But again, an indoor stadium, whereas unfortunately in New York, Jesse, it's outdoors.
And it rained. And it's rained a few times in New York.
So yeah, again, folks.
Sometimes snowed.
Yep.
By the way, that's football weather.
Yep.
Playing it, bitch.
But Jesse, what is the NFL like? Worldwide viewership. Right. And you know what looks really good on worldwide viewership? California and Florida in February.
Sun and no wind.
By the way, I'm going to say this to someone out there who said something on Facebook because they think they know ball. This is not talking ball football. This is talking music, which I will get you every time. Oh, the best halftime shows have been in the last few years, and I'm like, Prince ate them all for dinner and didn't even try.
That was fucking 15 years ago now.
You ain't touching what that man did. No, you never will.
That was the best one since Michael Jackson. That was magical, son.
Yeah. Everybody saw Michael Jackson, they looked at him. Prince, sure you need that? He was like, hold my beer.
Prince
he took care of it.
The nigga played Purple Rain
in the Purple Rain.
In the Purple Rain.
I'm
like, if there was an artist that started to feel blessed by God that I cried for, it was Prince. Because I'm like, he's playing Purple Rain, and it starts raining, and they light the stadium purple. And I'm like, it's a damn shame the Viking fans couldn't be here for this.
But anyway,
experience that is like some good loving. You need a fucking pack of cigarettes.
Nothing against Bad Bunny, nothing against Kendrick Lamar, all that.
Y'all, those was great.
Yeah, it was great. You ain't touching Prince. Sorry, don't work like that. But anyway,
true.
But Jesse,
the
again,
Right just wanted to hit on Kendrick for
black reasons. But again, Jesse, you look at the visual of things. You look at the obvious. Mm-hmm. This is the third All-In to take place in that stadium. Yeah. It's going to be the least amount of people they've ever put in it.
By the way, this was the thing. Because I was all on congratulating, like, hey, look, guys, congratulations. They're going to get to the 40,000. But I'm just saying, everyone wanted to give WWE shit for going back to Vegas and doing less numbers. This is the third year in a row you're doing London. You're doing less numbers. I'm just...
Did the first year they had set up for like 80?
Yep.
Yeah. And they only did like...
they did like 60,000 tickets before they even announced a match.
Right.
So, that's why you set up for that. This time, the setup was only for about 27,000. There was a nice late demand, so they're now opening more seats. But again, regardless of... this is what, like Jesse said, we're constantly... moving goalposts, rewriting the rules, all this stuff, but yet the math stays the same.
Oh, by the way, I think the updated numbers were night 2 in Minnesota for SummerSlam did end up doing like 40,000. But like I told people, like, oh no, WWE, especially TKO, still deserves like a you fucking earned this moment. Like,
yeah, because guess what? You could have sold the whole stadium out if these were the ticket prices when you announced SummerSlam. Because let me tell you something, we're Minnesota. You're going to tell me for only $75 a person, we have to leave the lake for a night?
Here, let's be fair.
In the summer?
It's Minnesota in the summer. They currently hate the Twins. There was nothing better for them to do because the Vikings don't start playing football again until next week.
Training camp's going on now, so sorry.
And it actually kind of bothered me that unfortunately Minnesota had to become like the peak of the ticket issue in TKO because unfortunately, and Jesse told me this before, if it didn't have that weird aura around it from TKO being a bunch of idiots, that stadium lights up pretty well for a wrestling show.
Everyone who came from out of the country were like, this was a gorgeous experience.
Yeah.
Like
it's a beautiful
they
stadium.
were like, this is a world class. Even like, it was funny because there were some leftover soccer fans because they did a game, I believe,
Kansas City
at the U of M.
Oh yeah.
For the World Cup. Which, by the way, beautiful stadium, TCF.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm just like, think about it. If those fans,
I think it's now called Huntington Bank Stadium,
which makes sense. I think the bank probably did get the naming rights, but
yeah, they changed it all.
Of course, the U.S. Bank Stadium does tours, and they got to go see it, and they're like, why the fuck didn't they do a game here? This is and that's where they're like, America stadiums, they have all these around the country, and we were just like, they have them in college, we have them semi-pro, we have them everywhere.
Hey man, what I want to do is I want to get 50 Europeans, and I want to bring them over to the U.S., and I'm going to be like, okay, you're here in the fall, we're not doing the NFL. Well, why am I here? I'm going to take you to a couple of SEC games. Let me tell you something. You think you're going to be prepared for this? You think you know what's going to happen?
When they do see it, blows their fucking mind. Like, this is for college sports. Like, yeah.
Because they care more about the football down there than they do the academics. But you know what?
They care more about sports.
Well, no. Let me be very clear. I remember talking to someone who wanted to be like a modern day, good mother or whatever she was doing. She wanted to be like, well, education is important when they showed how little the graduation rate at Georgia is for the football team. And I'm like, ma'am, most of these dudes are getting paid to go to the NFL.
A lot of them now are making like $20 million. Fuck my education. I'm good.
They're doing all right.
They're doing okay.
All I got to say is this All In is supposed to be their big thing. The first year, they had great numbers.
Yep.
They had less the second year.
Yep.
They had less. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As of right now, in the last week,
yep,
the setup for there is a little over 44,000, and they sold 37. So they set up for half the amount of people in the stadium. And
so WWE is going to get shipped for a tiny section of that stadium getting blocked off that wasn't behind the monitor, but yet we're not going to talk about the fact that when they do All In, when we all watch it, you're going to hear a pin drop because there's only half the amount of people in the fucking stadium.
I'm like, U.S. Bank can be an enclosed stadium. So like that actually worked in WWE's favor.
Yeah.
It keeps the sound inside.
Yeah.
That's not Wembley.
No.
Wembley is open air.
Yeah.
It's going to float up.
But as you know, it's like you guys can answer this question for me, and I know what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
AEW say they're successful.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing this. Okay. Isn't it successful, and WWE has shown this, is if you go back somewhere, you sell more tickets. You don't cut it in half and still call you successful?
Business-wise, I will have to push back. Us getting on the numbers, because they are what they are, it's still very successful. And the reason I say that is
40,000 is 40,000.
Because there's no other wrestling company that can do that anywhere else right now besides AEW.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they only sold like 20,000 at a baseball stadium. Or 30,000. Kind of shameful, but still successful. Because only right now WWE in this market can do it.
Yeah.
But if they keep saying that we're better than we were so many years ago, and then you look at it going, how are you better?
Well, now that's really easy to answer, and I'm going to throw this to Jesse.
That is half and half.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse. Do you think to prove people that, we're still who we thought we were, blah, 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 you think Ole Sykes gives a fuck where Bring Me the Horizon is right now based on the fact they're the biggest stadium touring band in the fucking world right now? Jesse, they go back to places. They're not playing the bar down the street anymore. They're not playing the little fucking, bingo hall that's just down the road. They're not playing the small amphitheater anymore, Jesse. They don't get out of bed unless you call them for the stadium.
They don't get out of bed for less than $100K.
And I don't blame Ole and the boys for that.
That used to be my dream. I don't get out of bed for less than $100K.
Well, Jesse, you've said it on the show before. If you're going to tell Shinedown they're going to play a place that isn't 20,000 people minimum, they're probably not going to say anything.
They're probably not going to be there.
They're not going to pick up the phone.
By the way, the biggest reason they actually didn't do the Trump concert. Let's just be real. I'm like, fuck. I'm like,
fuck their politics.
The politics of it was bullshit.
There weren't enough people.
They saw, oh God, this ain't gonna sell at all. Regardless if people hate us or not, we're not doing this.
Because
shit.
Jesse, it does come down to a point that even if now you and I always talk about if you pay the fee 9 times out of 10 a band will play.
Yeah.
But certain bands when they're at that level, there is a visual to what you're doing. Because the second that people saw that, they'd be like, well, Shinedown fell off. Well. That's why Shinedown probably wouldn't do that type of thing.
Like there was like they were probably like, I'm sorry, there's only 300 there. Yeah, no, we ain't gonna be there.
No. Because by the way, we just sold 300 tickets to a show that isn't even gonna happen for another 8 months.
Yeah, we sold 300 just announcing. Like, yeah, no. So yeah, I can't ever call them a failure per se, but I can tell you it's not an upward trajectory.
Well, that's the other thing. In business, guys, there's a lot of things that people don't get. There are failing businesses, there are successful businesses, and then there are the businesses that I always describe as, well, they go on Bar Rescue and Kitchen Nightmares, and they look at Gordon Ramsay and John Taffer, and they say, hey, my bills got paid last month. Neat. Your house is still on the line for some fucking reason. I don't think that's necessarily a success. It's a middle group.
I keep saying when it comes to AEW, to answer you directly, Leroy, and people who have that question, to answer everyone directly, there's nothing wrong with the stable line, but most businesses will tell you a podcast hitting a stable line, not that big of a deal. I've always said, like, Caleb Hammer will probably tell this to anyone. The fact that I can pay a staff a really good salary and make decent money doing this.
Do you actually realize?
And never be in the red is good business.
Do you actually realize that guy, and he doesn't brag, he uses it as examples to people on the show who think they're successful business people. The people sitting there being his producers, he's paying them 6 figures a year.
I think he said a couple of them make like $200,000.
Yeah.
And by the way.
For a podcast.
For a podcasting kind of network, that's pretty successful that you can do that. But I'm sure it's stable.
Yeah.
Because what he does is a little bit it's popular, but it's also niche in itself.
Incredibly niche, yeah.
And I've always said for us, like the fact if I could get us to the point where you guys have the salaries you need to not only keep the houses but have extra money and all that for yourselves and your families, then we've done well.
I tell people all the time, if you told me that I could do this for the same amount of money that I'm making now, but let's say like 15 to 20% more, I'd quit my job tomorrow.
Right.
Because
for someone like him who's got the kids. So I get it.
I'm not sitting here saying, Jesse, come back to me with 6 figures. That if we get there, great. But if we don't, hey, can I at least pay my bill at the end of the month and have a little for spending money?
And that's the thing. Like I never over greedily market us in the sense of like I want us to make $8 billion. I've always been honest with people who have doubted us. Like This is a niche podcast. It ain't gonna make $8 billion unless we start to switch to other things.
If I get $1 billion,
but I'm like, I can always go for these guys are taken care of. I'm good. Continue my other businesses and be fine.
Yeah,
that we can get to. But the reason we'll criticize AEW's business is WWE's already proven they don't really flatline. They go up and down, and it's even flows. At this point, AEW is kind of flatlined.
Not to mention the fact, Jesse, it just came out recently, the most recent earnings report. WWE, I forget the full number, TKO made X amount of money. WWE raised their amount of that by 12%.
I told people, because people didn't fucking believe my numbers, I'm like, I told you guys, when they released the quarterly reports, I don't even want an apology. I just want you to understand business and why TKO should not be fucking involved.
Quote-unquote, to quote the idiot known as Dana White.
Bob from who used to run Disney, the reason he didn't fucking get involved when it came to Marvel is for 10 years, it was making Disney billions and billions of dollars.
That's Daddy Iger, by the way.
Thank you. Why the fuck would I get involved?
Bob Iger was the guy who should have always run WWE.
Probably.
Triple H, you just made $1 billion in 7 days. Wait, hold on. What do you mean that the thing that made the majority of that money is still there for 2?
You, your wife, and Nick Khan continue.
I'll see you at the annual reports meeting.
Fact, do you want more money to bring more talent in? Just keep going. Because I'm making money hand over fist, and I don't have to get involved.
Hold on, wait. You want me to buy New Japan Pro Wrestling? Done.
And we
not necessarily the best idea, but Disney's greedy. We agree with this.
And if that happened, we'd have Mickey Masshausen.
I'm down for that. That would make so much money.
I want to be very clear about one thing.
That would make so much money.
Anyone who sits there and says that they're tired of Danhausen, he's another example adjacent to Roman Reigns. Top 3 in merch, does great numbers on TV, and guess what? Somehow, some way, continues. Jesse, hold on, Jesse, I want you to confirm.
Go ahead.
In your fucking hometown of New York City, before Saturday night's main event, Fanatics Fest, was he announced before signing with WWE?
No.
And all of a sudden, he was one of the most watched things on WWE television. And all of a sudden, the New York Knicks won a championship, and then the city begged to see him at Fanatics.
I mean, I don't think he realized that he was adopted by the city at that point.
I mean, to be fair, Jesse, you guys kind of owe him because let's be honest, nobody was able to prove him wrong.
Like we apparently fans told him.
True.
They told him at FanFest, like you have to stop being announced from where you're announced from. You're now from New York City.
No, Jesse. Jesse. That's the thing. Yes. You guys got the title. You can move on, and you never have to speak on the title again. Whatever, blah blah blah. But unfortunately, you guys don't want to anger him because you were never able to prove him wrong.
Listen, no, we weren't mad at him. We were mad at Stephen A. because we're like, the curses worked, and we're trying to win, and you fucked it up. And then he kind of uncursed us, and then we won. And it's just like, Danhausen, come on home. Come on
Once
home.
again, if you just want basic math, every time he quote unquote uncursed the Knicks, they lost one game, and I'll be honest, it's hard to uncurse something that's cursed by Donald Trump. That's really hard to do.
By our owner.
Yeah,
no, it's just
no. That's the thing. Danhausen was bigger than James Dolan. That's insanity.
Well, we've been wanting him to sell the fucking team for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Now, so.
But like that's the thing. Hey guys, Danhausen.
Since his daddy died, we've been wanting.
Danhausen wasn't announced for Fanatics Fest because he was formerly All Elite. He was announced for Fanatics Fest because he was with the WWE. So once again, the annual fucking report that is the SEC filings, that is the real numbers, that if they fake, everyone goes to prison and no one wants that.
You go to prison for that.
So guess what? It's funny. TKO is still, for some strange reason, wanting to run things like they ran UFC, even though the quote-unquote scripted thing, Dana, that's a funny word there. It's a little cheeky ha-ha. 12% in a year? On $12 billion?
I respect Triple H for trying to be a company guy. That's when I would have stopped supporting UFC. Like, really?
Oh, I would have gone on
my business under the bus.
Oh, I would have gone on Cody's podcast, which I control. It's under my banner,
Right.
and I would have just been like, Dana's telling me that I should ask him for advice on what to do.
Has this bitch looked at our numbers compared to his?
Yeah.
Because it's not a good comparison right now. He actually compares more to the PBR than us right now.
Yeah, there's three entities at TKO.
Right.
One of them looks down on the other two, and no, it's not UFC.
Even close.
Yeah.
Well, I said they were smart, and they brought us, Oberhausen because they put Danhausen and Oba together
That
this
was
last
beautiful.
weekend.
That was fucking great.
Slide
also, once
underneath
again,
his legs.
I'm glad
Oh my
that
God,
you
that's
stick
awesome.
to kayfabe, that you have no fucking ability to stick on the current topic
That's
and you're
okay.
two topics
It was
back.
beautiful
It's
that he
great
brought that up,
kayfabe. I
'cause
appreciate
that was
it.
beautiful.
I'm just saying, it was a wonderful
He made
weekend.
Obafemi breaking. That shit was
You
funny.
were holding on to that even though we were on to a completely different topic. Way to go.
You
Brock
love
Black
me.
Lesnar. I love him.
I have not said anything stupid to shove my foot in my mouth yet.
I'm sure you will.
You said Oberhausen.
Oberhausen.
This podcast is young, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those things.
Yeah. Oh,
Of course, AEW.
not me,
isn't-
but yeah, the podcast is. Yeah, yes.
Of course, like AEW isn't a complete failure. By the way, I just want to remind the sickos, they don't have a TV deal.
Oh, no, Jesse. That's what we also need to talk about. It's weird. Hey, Leroy, back to math for a second. How many months in a year?
12.
Okay. Jesse, what month are we in?
We are in the 8th month of the year, August.
Okay, Jesse. Or back to Leroy. I was going to ping pong here, or pickleball or tennis, whatever you prefer. Hey, Leroy, quick question. What's the difference between
Pickleball.
8 and 12?
4.
Okay, Jesse, quick question. What is the year that will happen this coming January?
2027.
Okay, one more question. When is AEW's current deal up? What year is that?
2027.
2027 starts on January 1st. What do you mean? It's not 2027 into 2028.
Right.
It's January 1st in 2020.
Doesn't sometimes new contracts and everything start
So
in the late fall sometimes?
I do want to clear this up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Am I wrong?
They basically post January, I believe it's 5 months before a new deal has to get done.
Yeah.
Before they would basically be off of TNT.
Because, by the way, I want to take you all back into the archives.
Unless Tony has come up with some sort of handshake deal for now.
Well, hold on. That's what I'm saying. I want to take everyone back into the archives, not the archives that Leroy's delving into. Soon to get to that legendary episode of Dark Order taking out the Elite. Oh, boy. Can't wait for you to review that.
You mean S&M?
That's mean to the S&M community. But anyway. No. But anyway, no. Jesse, back into the archives.
After
The last
Excalibur
time they got a 4-year extension that didn't even pan out to be $1 million a show, they wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah, they would not.
That's the thing. See, guys, this is the thing about the IWC.
They really would not.
When you guys are right, you don't shut the fuck up about it. You actually drive it to the point where you piss off part of your own fucking side because you won't move the fuck on. You literally become peaked in high school.
Right.
But when you don't have any real evidence to anything, you are quieter than a church mouse. You are quieter than a dead man in a graveyard. You fucking have nothing to say. You will change the subject
Sometimes
more
noisy.
than Jesse
I like
when
that.
Mom used to ask, what were you doing last night?
I'm not going to tell you, Mom.
Well, it was a lot of excuses and hope she would just be like, just get the fuck out of my room, and I understood.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I made
Yeah,
it home,
that's
didn't
something to
I?
be nervous about. No, here's the thing. At this point, let's talk about that deal. At this point, that Paramount deal is not going to happen. There's just so many hurdles now with all the lawsuits. The judge moving the start date to 27, like March of 27, like, and then they start accruing an interest bill here in October.
And if this deal doesn't go through,
Also, I
a lot of
believe the
people
date-
will have lost money.
I believe the date is June 4th of 2027,
Yeah.
where Papa Zaslav can just pull out the deal, and they got to pay him $7 billion.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, Jesse. Also, like I said, if it doesn't go through, a lot of people who backed a lot of horses will have lost money. And despite what the IWC wants to believe, a certain section of it, No one in the Paramount deal gives a flying fuck about All Elite Wrestling because All Elite Wrestling didn't just do a 12% increase in an earnings report.
They did not.
They didn't. And this is the thing that I need to get off my chest. If you want to know how business works, you have access to more. And yes, I'm kind of quoting Caleb Hammer here, but he's also, once again, just someone that says the obvious. In Leroy's hand right now that he's using to ignore talking on the segment is more search engine ability. Just accept it, move on. You are.
I'm listening to you.
I'm aware, but you're ignoring the conversation. Anyway, people think I hate you. It's hilarious. But no, it's like.
Come give me a hug.
Aww.
Anyway, all right.
How sweet.
We'll just edit that in later. But anyway, no, it's like you have access to more publicly traded information than any fucking era in history.
Right.
The ability, like, I love when people say I'm going to go to school for a business degree to open a business. When Jesse's like, you have an idea, you open it, and you make sure that you make more than you lose. It's not like it's hard.
And by the way, you can just look up how you get your LLCs and all that.
Yeah, it's not complicated.
It's not complicated.
But anyway, Jesse, these people don't realize that when these big meetings are happening, when they're trying to avoid this lawsuit, that lawsuit, this government interference, that fucking random thing, no one in that room in a probably 4-hour meeting every day from now until June 4th, as you said, even fucking utters the words All Elite Wrestling for any fucking length of time. Because again, Jesse, this is the part no IWC fan has ever admitted because they're like, real wrestling lives here. Guys, you don't get paid $1 million a show. Do you realize that at the end of Friends, all 6 main cast members were making the fucking Olsen twins on Full House, the show ended, they were like 9. They were making $1.5 million an episode.
Yeah.
And they were still profiting.
Yeah. And they made a lot of money on post movies and all that. Yeah.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld, who was just in Duluth this past weekend,
Right.
Jesse, he made $1 billion after they canceled Seinfeld.
Right.
He made $1 billion after.
Right.
So basically, like I'm trying to put out to people, they like that Tony has money. They like that Tony's dad is rich. They would like Tony's dad to make an offer that makes all of this go away. He ain't got that kind of money.
I mean, he's very wealthy. I wouldn't say all that. I just don't think.
But he's not going to do it.
I don't think he's into. He supports the son, but I don't think he's just that into wrestling.
Right. But that's the point.
No.
Jesse, in a company that doesn't profit on its own, it profits because the backing is $1 billion and they lost $100 million. Hey, we still got $900 million left over. Whoop-de-dingle fucking hopper do. No one cares at Paramount. You don't have a television deal. These are the facts. I don't care what you people want to tell me on the streets. Come to ExcaliburCon this Saturday and Sunday and talk to us about it. But here's the deal. I am not going to sit there and be nice to someone who looks at me and says, well, AEW is going to be around for 5 years. And I'm like, here's what I want to say, and I'm going to be polite because there's a bunch of kids in the room enjoying this thing. You can't tell me that with absolute certainty.
Right.
But my reaction to your question is, from all reports of insiders, some of which I actually know, they don't have a television deal past the 31st of this year.
They don't.
And there
From
is
my understanding, they don't.
there is a possibility through more reports from Nick Piccolo that they could have that deal terminated in early fall.
Correct.
So guess what? The one thing nobody wants to acknowledge is that All Elite Wrestling does not have an ironclad contract. By the way, that term was so misused by Big Show in that weird storyline that people think ironclad means you can't be fired. No, you can still be fired. It's just harder to do. Like, they don't have an ironclad deal from Paramount. They don't have an ironclad deal from anybody. And by the way, Jesse, Leroy asked me this question
I still
at
blame
work.
Vince for that.
Yeah, right?
Because then fans were like, see, ironclad. No. That writing came from a businessman who understands business. It's not what ironclad means.
No. But by the way, Jesse, Leroy asked this question at work. You're not getting 500,000 people a week watching the entirety of All Elite Wrestling Dynamite on Paramount Plus. It's not happening.
It's not happening on fucking HBO Max.
Right. Well, sorry. Yeah, HBO Max. But Jesse, here's the but here's the thing that I can grip at and say, because you tell them on the show all the time. Netflix actually releases their fucking viewership.
They actually released the viewership for the week for Raw and SmackDown.
And oh no, Raw only had 800,000 people watching live on Monday. Funny that at the end of a 7-day period until the next Raw, hey Jesse, what was still in the top 10?
It was, I think overall, it got to close to 2 million again.
Yeah.
It's Netflix. They count it for the week.
It's Netflix. You know what they're expecting from Field of Dreams? Because it's like on a random Tuesday or Wednesday. They're expecting a somewhat Thursday. That's worse. A somewhat decent amount of people watching. Right. But then they're just going to hope that by next Thursday, people went back on their off time and made a viewership and watched it again. Guys, business is not complicated, and you can technically become the CEO of an incredibly successful company overnight if two things happen. Number one, you create a product that is all of a sudden in demand and billions of people want it. And number two, you become publicly traded and now all those people want to buy into your stock.
Really quick, I want to throw out here, since a lot of us who know the movie game are starting. It just looks insurmountable for Paramount at this point. They're gonna lie their way out, but they're gonna get out this deal somehow before the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Because at this point they can't win the court case. Let me tell you guys something. Especially as a black man, something I understand. When a judge tells you that your case does not look winnable to you, start pleading.
Yep.
Start making plans to plead, because the judge is already telling you right now things ain't on your side. They're warning you. So Paramount's going to probably get out.
And by the way, folks, judges don't get paid more for a guilty plea versus a non-guilty plea. They're salaried. They're set. They just have to sit there.
They're just telling you the truth.
Yep.
Like right now, you're probably going to prison.
Yep.
And in Paramount's case right now, you're going to lose out on this deal.
Because by the way, folks, I know they sometimes...
Also, Oracle just lost another $250 million.
Yep.
This can't survive like
Guys,
this.
A judge, sometimes they do it on Law & Order, and you guys think it's this weird little twist turn. Oh, no, a judge abusing their power. No, a judge can literally look at someone and say, you should probably take this deal because I know based on the evidence that I've been presented, you're fucked. They're allowed to do that.
Like sometimes they're actually trying to help you because they're former lawyers going, this case don't look good for you.
My grandfather for years used to tell me, it's like I would sometimes look at people and be like, yeah, you're looking at some hard time, but you're looking at a lot less if you just say that you did it.
If you plead and make a deal, you're probably looking at less.
Yeah.
And in this business kind of court case, it's just like Paramount, I would consider getting out because at this point, they're going to win and this deal's going to be dead.
And also, Jesse, to your point, win or lose the case, Zaslav's making $7 billion.
And here's the worst case scenario for AEW fans. I still think what's going to happen is Netflix, once this deal is dead, is going to swoop right back in for less now. A lot of us think this. They're going to swoop back in for less. They're just going to go get Warner Brothers anyway.
Jesse, do successful people offer $4 million for something, and then someone says, no, I think I can get better, and then you tank like a fucking in rock underwater, and then you come back and say, hey, how about that $4 million? They go,
and then people were like, well, why does Zaslav even take the deal? Well, let us let you understand business. Because he could be sued by his shareholders by going to them and be like, well, I'm not going to do this. Well, the shareholders wanted to see what they were offering.
Yeah.
It was more. He had to be like, okay, well, Netflix, do you want to offer? You know, it's just smart. And that's why he's letting the court case happen. His words are the most telling about this deal. I think it was a few weeks ago, and this is why I'm like, I don't know what AEW is going to do if Netflix swoops back in. They might keep them. Because there's a chance Netflix is like, I mean, we'll take 2 wrestling companies under our wing. We don't give a fuck.
That just means every single wrestling fan in the world essentially is going to be watching Netflix. That's all Netflix hears.
And they're good for it. Like, so what are you right? If you're comparing now, oh, man, Dynamite was awesome on Netflix this week. So, yeah, so was Raw. So was SmackDown.
Well, no, Jesse, here's the other.
And then that means I'm going to be tortured just like you every week.
Well, now, Jesse, I have a quick question for you, though. Do you think with all this stuff going on, with all the success the IWC sees on Dynamite, you think Netflix is going to offer $5 billion?
Oh, no, not a chance. Not a fucking chance. When they offer the 5-year deal for AEW,
$2 million.
I mean, listen, it'll look good. It'll probably be like, hey, we'll offer you guys $800 million.
Yep.
And that looks good.
Yep.
You know, and it probably pays for the wrestlers and all that.
Yeah.
But really, what they're going to really want is, we want the pay-per-views now.
Yep.
So now, by the way, they'll probably get more eyes on their pay-per-views because they'll all be on Netflix.
Well, yeah,
along with WWE.
Well, yeah, but who needs more eyes when according to Dave, all 12 get a different 150,000 people buying?
The guy's a liar. Because Brandon Thurston talks about the numbers every single fucking time.
Yeah.
It's not that every time.
No,
it's not even close sometimes.
It's not. Nope. But again, as has been proven, the most biased reporting on AEW is done by the guy who's basically unironically admitted he's being paid to fucking talk nice about them.
Well, he's literally being paid.
And what's also bothering me is, Jesse, some of the more recent stuff that he and Brian Alvarez have been talking about. Jesse, it is clear to me, and I don't know why Brian does it, it is clear that Jim Cornette, once again, getting proven right by just simply going, you know, it's weird. Dave has put everything he's ever said about wrestling in print. And nothing he said in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s matches anything matches anything that he says now. It's like, dude, you are literally a blatant hypocrite.
Oh, yeah, he's full of shit.
It's not even, oh, that's his opinion. Jesse, he's blatantly fucking with things.
I literally had to give Brian some credit because when he starts getting on their own fan base, because it's just like, guys, like some of y'all who are still here at this point, we look like a cult because you can't just agree with everything. This is crazy. Like we look like a cult over here. Like sometimes something is bullshit. If you really, I say it all the time. It's okay as a fan if you think something is bullshit, even if you love it, to call it out. To be fair, Star Wars fans have been doing it for years.
Yes.
What I love about George Lucas, and this is why I think George Lucas is an honorary black man, Jesse, he created something, everyone loved it, and then they got so toxic, he said, fuck you, I'm going to go make $3 billion.
Well, he sold it to Disney, yeah.
He sold it to Disney
for $3
billion.
By the way, he still makes money on it in perpetuity from Disney, even though she wasn't as successful as she should have been.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I just, listen.
You think that, no, Jesse, in also a black way, you think that he just gave it away and didn't think to still make monny on it on the back end?
Well, no. I told people, I'm like, I was excited for the Disney deal because I was like, I knew of some of the producers they were thinking about putting as a studio head.
Yeah.
One of them, for a minute, included Steven Spielberg, which I was like, they can get him to be a studio head. Fuck yeah. He didn't do it because he didn't like the terms, but... You know,
well, but Steven also is at a point in his life he doesn't need to bow down to Disney.
It's funny every time, like, so that one movie came out earlier this year, the Disclosure Day.
Yeah, which I heard was not good.
Well, and the numbers didn't do great, but I'm like, it's funny because the movie actually still made like $500 million.
Yeah,
for that to be Steven Spielberg's worst ever says a lot about his career.
Steven Spielberg for fun did the Animaniacs. That's all you need to know.
He fucking produced on a lot of games just for fun. Like,
yeah,
the guy's successful. But
yeah,
I keep going back to when it comes to AEW, guys. At some point, it's gonna be under the umbrella, probably the same umbrella as WWE, and I don't mean TKO. I mean Netflix. And you have to live with that.
Well, and they also have to live with the fact, Jesse, that Vince was always in entertainment, right. Which means Vince's aura. When he walked in a boardroom, it mattered.
Right.
It was something. All these people said, I mean, Jesse, you would have people that dealt in billions of dollars every day. He'd walk in a room and they would whisper to each other, that's Vince McMahon. That's Vince McMahon.
Right.
That's Vince McMahon. And now you have a guy whose entire basis, everyone in the business world will tell you, both probably not publicly because they want his daddy's money, but they'll tell you privately, he's only in this because of daddy's money. He's never been successful without daddy's money. Now, it's okay to set up your kids. That's fine. I ain't mad about it. But, again, motherfucker, your dad was successful in car parts and pro sports. He has a seat at the table with the NFL, who then goes and handles the networks. But your daddy don't own a network, and he's not about to buy one because those are billions of dollars, and you need them to be successful if you're the sole owner of it. And there's too much lawsuits to happen there. But
right.
you are at the mercy, just like WWE, of networks.
Right.
WWE has a big head start. And I know people want to say that's why AEW is coming up because they're catching them. It's like, no, you ain't.
No,
it's not happening. But like what Dave will never come out and just say, because it is, like I said, being proven every day, the WWE burned him, but he kind of deserved it a little bit. Not like to the level that Vince did, but he deserved a little bit of pushback.
Because, if you were spoiling fucking matches, come on.
But it's
dude.
like, Jesse, it's been proven by a lot of people. The Bucks just made Dave feel good, so Dave started to be more favorable to something that, again, all your opinions are in writing, motherfucker. You used to make like you used to have this thing called a dud, which is what you would have given the Young Bucks in 1995. Yeah. Although actually, to be fair, nobody would have put the Young Bucks on in 1995. They're only where they're at because they had they had to put themselves on. That's
kind of sad.
Listen, I as I keep saying about the Bucks, when my first 2 shows in Sacramento, and I still remember the second one, and hearing in their line and hearing some of the things they were saying, and I was just like, who the fuck believes in these guys? And maybe like I told my friend, maybe I'm spoiled because my dad took me to Madison Square Garden. So as a kid, I got to see the big giants of the world of wrestling. But I also saw how well businesses ran. And listening to these guys talk, I'm just like, they seem so fucking arrogant. And I see Kevin Owens now, and I see Sami Zayn now, AJ Styles and everything he did. And I'm just like, how did you guys have these guys around and you're still doing the same stupid shit? Because they keep people talking about their evolution, and now Conrad talking about Roman doesn't evolve. I'm like, the Bucks haven't evolved in 25 fucking years.
Jesse, if you think about their careers, I have a question. Can you bring up the Road Warriors' success and not mention WWE? Yeah, you can. Can you bring up the Dudleys without WWE? Not to that level.
But they're one of the hearts and souls of the original ECW.
And by the way, they were Japanese tag team champions, all that kind of stuff. If you bring up the Bucks, how successful are they without Adam Cole and Kevin and Steen? How successful are they without being partial owners of PWG? How successful are they without New Japan realizing, okay, if we're going to take Kenny, we'll take the Bucks? Because again, folks, Jesse and I have connections. We've talked to people. New Japan, and Jesse's also a guy who's a fan. Jesse, they didn't see them as anything until they got to Bullet Club.
Correct.
Jesse, 2-second tangent, and then we get back to this. New Japan was not featuring them as a top-tier tag team until they got the Bullet Club logo.
By the way, to New Japan fans, the top tag team from Bullet Club had a different name. They were called the Good Brothers.
Or the Gorillas.
Or the Gorillas, right.
They were the third best tag team in the group that made them famous.
Right.
But because they were flashy and they had American internet fame, they were the people to back when New Japan wanted to break into the market. They called Hot Topic and said, we'll give you the Bucks because they were marketable. And there was Cody. But anyway.
I'm about to say, Cody helped a lot,
but
even though they keep acting like he didn't.
But Jesse, okay, so now back to my list. So you have to name Mount Rushmore. You have to name Bullet Club. You have to name you were partial owners of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Love PWG, but if you're going to give Jeff Jarrett crap for the way he booked himself owning the place, maybe the Bucks had a little something to do with their own booking, just saying.
I didn't even think they were the stars of PWG.
Oh, God, no. Jesse, can you mention them without the success of Ring of Honor?
Seriously, most of the time when I think of PWG, I think of Super Dragon. I think of Steen coming through. People don't realize, to a lot of us, Super Dragon was an absolute legend.
And now the one that no one wants to talk about.
Dragon.
That's all we have the time for. And now the part no one wants to mention. Hey, Jesse, can you mention the success of the Bucks in the later years of their career without mentioning the words WWE?
Oh my God, we made $1 million without. I did, like I said, I didn't hate on you and the others, but I was just like, it's funny to me that the way you're making your millions is, hey, you could go make all that money without WWE. And I'm like, technically, you got a lot of your money from Japanese fans.
Well, not only that, Jesse, but how many of those interviews, looking back, again, reformed fan over here, I'm wearing the Bucks patch.
Right.
It stinks. It smells like Rancho Cucamonga, California, which no one wants to be in. Jesse, how many of those interviews, though, did they go without even uttering the words World Wrestling Entertainment? How many times were they able to give a full interview and WWE letters weren't said?
Or they were saying, like, fuck the revival, the team in WWE. Like, okay. Like, I guess I didn't hate on it.
You killed Adam Cole on a YouTube show because he signed with NXT. You killed Adam Cole.
Like I said, yeah, did WWE go too far with the cease and desist? Absolutely. Because I'm like, hey, Vince, that's some bullshit. Because I still remember when you sent DX to Atlanta, Georgia, to go and harass their buddies down at fucking WCW.
They did.
So, like,
they did.
I think it's a little bit of fun. And I'm like, you're giving them extra clout. Like, if you really don't care about them, don't even fucking acknowledge it.
Yeah.
That's how you handle it. But, and by the way, I didn't care either way. And then I remember they tried to get on Jacobs. By the way, ended up working for WWE any fucking way. And then they fired him, and then they brought him back. I digress.
But anyway, Jesse, back to my point. This is a company that has a bunch of people who brag about a success that unfortunately is because at the end of the day...
I mean, it's funny because the new tagline from the company is, we're not competing with WWE. We're doing our own thing here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a new messaging from the wrestlers.
Oh,
who have probably been told in a group email or a group text to say that.
You know, what I really think they should all do before we continue any discussion is use an excellent sponsor to deal with their mental health issues at BetterHealth.com.
And also, before we move on, I also think they need to use a wonderful sponsor because they need to stay up later as to try to figure out how to get a new TV deal. Jesse, what's that sponsor?
Ceruvian Syrups. Right now.
Okay, Jesse, as we move on here, I've got the results. We haven't done this in a while of Dynamite.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it now. Again, I want to preface the good things about this. They put a lot of people in Arena Mexico. It was a good-looking show. Everything was filmed very well. But now we have to do what we always like to do on here, and people don't like it because, you know what's funny? They love when, we talk about how great they did, the numbers, this and that, and then we talk about the loopholes that are blatantly in the booking that I'm watching, and they're like, well, now you're haters. It's sure.
To quote 4 of my favorite reviewers, great wrestling show, sure. Boy, what did this have to do with building your pay-per-view? And
well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Let me say this out loud before we continue. Before we even get to Grand Slam Mexico. Let me say a couple things out loud.
Oh God!
You made the world champion a babyface, who then now is scheduled to face another babyface at your biggest show of the year, and then you randomly decided to take the babyface challenger and finally conclude with a story that has been a popcorn fart if it's been anything, and disobey the Death Riders. But Jon Moxley, who I think was working heel 5 minutes before this happened, and then was babyface 15 minutes after the 17 minutes of being a heel after the 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker's Big Show modern day.
He really is.
That's what I say. It's big show syndrome there.
Yeah, but anyway, for the first time, and Jim Cornette pointed it out, and I'm going to give Jim credit for this because I actually didn't even realize it because, again, there's so many other things to rip apart in the show. And now you have the babyface challenger stopping his heel faction leader from choking Kenny Omega out with a plastic bag. And in saving Kenny Omega still attacked him And Jon Moxley, the heel, warned his brethren, the babyface, that the babyface is going to screw you. So for the first time in wrestling history that's been recorded, the heel was right. The heel's never supposed to be right. He's supposed to be delusional. But then, in all the midst of that, Kenny Omega has had a pay-per-view defense against a heel that was not ready for the big time in any way yet. And we still have 3 weeks before any of this. And MJF, your biggest draw, isn't trying to sit there and saying, I'm watching the two of you. Now he wants Andrade, whilst holding his version of the world title.
It's a clown show.
What a mess, what a mess, what a mess.
To quote Chris Hansen, it's a clown show. And by the way, for those, I would, for the fan of heart, I would not watch the EDP documentary on YouTube for the fan of heart. It's a hard watch, brother.
Anyway, yeah.
So, but what I was getting at here was this. The matches were all great.
Yeah. Mexican crowds are always great to watch. I love watching Mexican crowds. They make me lose it.
As everyone knows, I can watch different styles of wrestling and enjoy them. That's why I'm a big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
The thing I always have a hard time with AEW with is this, and will always be this. You keep saying, well, we're supposed to be the sports-based show, but then you specifically do WWE shit, and then you try to go back to being the sports-based show, but it fucks up whatever quote-unquote story you're working on. It's I don't know if it's like being on meth. I should ask, but it feels like I'm on meth sometimes when I watch it.
So,
because I'm like, what are we doing?
Here's the part I didn't get about Grand Slam. This is probably the most confusing match because, again, why are, like, okay, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong.
It was so funny, too, to see wrestling fans go, the sickos go, people get mad at the wrestling show for being wrestling. No, nigga. You missed the whole part. And by the way, thank you to some of the new subscribers who subscribed off of Twitter as well.
We appreciate all of you. Hey, Jesse, quick question. What is the current World Tag Team title match we're supposed to be building to at All In?
It's like Edge and Christian versus
the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick question. Why in the fuck, unless Tony's going to add them, which will only make this match worse, because it can only get worse from here, because you added the Bucks. Why did Jon Moxley, a current guy working in a main event storyline, team with Wheeler Useless? That's his name no matter where he goes now because the dude's decided to fuck up his own career. Dude shaved his head. Nothing. Nothing about the storyline. We followed up on nothing. That is why you're useless. I am not stealing Jim Cornette's line. I'll give him credit if that's a fucking copyright bullshit. But let me be very clear. You're useless because the biggest storyline you've been involved in since being in AEW, you literally just killed, and now you have half the hair back.
He does.
That's the part that gets me. It's all back. Like, we're forgetting. And by the way, unfortunately, you got idiots like Tony Schiavone, because that's what he is now, going out there and be like, he would look so funny when his head was shaved. I'm like, yeah, and he's no longer a shaven bald head. So why are we bringing up shit from fucking a month ago? Thanks, Tony. Hard to get that visual from the joke when the joke is currently not looking like the joke. Anyway, Jon Moxley, Wheeler Useless, the former touted prospect Daniel Garcia, and Pac 8 Pac, Tupac.
I want to say Tupac.
Versus Edge and Christian and the Bucks. And they beat them. But Tony has no plans to add them to the match.
Well, they get along. Remember, I just want to remind the sickos, there was a time we used to kill Vince for the whole will they get along story. And now your guy does it. So, like, you're just as inconsistent as Tony Khan is about this.
Oh, God. Oh, God, Jesse.
Jesse,
sometimes watching live Dynamites, and I know Leroy's not there yet, but sometimes watching live Dynamites.
Well, they get along.
Jesse.
Probably not.
Jesse, I feel like I'm watching 20 Teens WWE sometimes without the fact that there's a second show that's repeating the thing, but there's a DQ. Like, oh, my God. Like, are they going to get along? Of course the fuck they ain't. So
know
why
how
are
this
we
ends.
even doing it?
And by the way, yeah, the constant heel, not heel, babyface, heel, not heel, babyface thing with the fucking Jon Moxley group. I don't even care to say the name anymore.
Remember, Jon Moxley was the babyface when he told Wheeler Yuta to honor the fucking loss.
Right.
But now John's the heel because he's trying to kill Kenny Omega with a plastic bag.
You know what? I used an analogy this week on Twitter/X, and I think that's why a lot of people end up starting to want to follow us and stuff. I said, it's funny. There used to be another TV show that was based off the comic Archie, and it was.
Yeah.
They got viewership because the show was so fucking bad. Because week to week, I don't think the writers knew what the fuck they were doing, right? And I'm like, if you guys want to go watch this show and then compare it to AEW, you'll see a lot of similarities of like, what is going on? I'm like, at this point, I'm like, if I wasn't, one, if I didn't do this, two, because somebody asked, if you weren't doing your podcast and stuff, would you watch AEW? I'm like, yeah, but I would watch it in a car wreck way. Because to me, there's no other way to watch it.
And by the way, Leroy, that's very funny because Eric Bischoff talked about this in his book that Jesse and I have both read, and I'm sure you remember when it happened. So there was a time when in the late days of WCW, as they were starting to fall apart, that they accidentally went over their time on pay-per-view, which means it got cut. And no one saw it. So what did they do the next night on Nitro? They showed the end of the pay-per-view. Hey, Jesse, because the world wasn't insane back then, what was the typical response of the fans at the time? Why the fuck did I buy the pay-per-view? We're just going to show it on Nitro.
Right.
So, by the way, Leroy, last week, the Overrun went past Impractical Jokers after Dynamite.
Oh, my God. I missed
So
out.
people who DVR'd it couldn't watch the confrontation between Kenny and Will conclude. So what do they do, knowing this history that Eric has put pen to paper? They showed it on Dynamite this week.
Yeah.
So what was the point of watching it on Max? Oh, wait.
Nobody watches it on Max.
Yeah, there's that.
Let's just be real.
By the way, I also want to point out...
Maybe two people.
I also want to point out the highlights...
That's not fair.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's not fair.
Yeah, since we didn't cover
Not
it...
like the 12 that watched
Yeah, that's
Collision
right. Yeah,
plus
exactly.
you.
Since we didn't cover it last week,
and-
we have to
and-
talk about it. Leroy,
and
move
Mark.
on. Stick with me here. There. Okay. Okay. Your joke is over. Let's move on. I just want to point out we didn't. There you go. We didn't even talk about it last week. Here's the highlights from Kenny and Will's little tiff, we'll call it, across the pond. Will wants Kenny to be at his best. That's an overused thing in this company, more than even the Lights Out match. Will Ospreay was saying, I was flying over here every week from London to make this place great because you were hurt. Will, no one told you had to fly every fucking week from the UK. You could have bought an apartment for the kid and the missus.
You and her worked there!
Yeah, they're brilliant.
And you're white!
Get through TSA's nothing.
Bro, the foreign shit for America does not apply to your white ass, I promise you. You both worked there! Just go to Florida.
And also, by the way, Florida, red state. But Florida, red state. And by the way, my favorite part of this, and Jesse, unfortunately, it came from Omega. He one-winged angeled him because he cared about him.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
This was not a good back and forth.
This is the first time since the original Breathy promo.
Yeah.
I was like, Kenny, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I care about you.
Because nobody writes your shit. You write... It's like Cody at the whole half-black thing. You write your own shit.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do to my son every day.
So basically,
choke slam. Tell him I love you.
One will, two will, three Kenny, three strikes, you're out. That confrontation last week was not the confrontation it was made out to be.
And to the AEW fans, let me make this very fucking clear. If this promo was cut in WWE, I would go the fuck off. Will Ospreay, you are Saxon. You are white. There is no reason you and her cannot move your asses to Florida, get your temporary work visas, and just do the 1 to 2 shows.
You're also friends with a Pakistani who has a lot of money and donates to the only guy making travel a problem.
And by the way, you're also friends with the Young Bucks. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to live in California to do it, you guys could. To me, when he said it, I went, I'm starting to hate you. I'm starting to hate you.
It's funny, Jesse. It's weird. You and I, lower middle class, might someday have to commute to a job for 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back, so 90 minutes, but you and I are getting paid 6 figures.
Sure.
Dude's getting paid well over 7 figures and is like, wow, travel's really hard.
I used to be a merchandiser. Most of my fucking life was traveling in the Midwest. And that was for way less than what.
A fuck ton less.
So what? Like, dude,
Let me be very clear. When Ozzy Osbourne, may he rest in peace, when he said, I'm leaving the United States over the school shootings, I'm leaving the United States over the politics, he and Sharon moved back to London. No problem. Didn't care.
Shit, a lot of people respected him for it.
But hold on. Ozzy,
that's where they're from.
Ozzy also didn't just come around and then complain about how hard it was to get around the U.S. Ozzy stuck to his, no pun intended, guns.
Yeah.
You're sitting here, and you gave an interview that said, I can't do it, mate. I just can't live in America. And yet you bitch about traveling back and forth.
Just by the way, really quick, was that the whole reason you didn't want to do WWE? We would rather stay in London. And then she gets signed here too. What the fuck are you guys talking about, man?
See, that's the other thing. Oh, no, I don't want to move because I don't want to uproot my wife and my 2-year-old. First of all, the 2-year-old, by fucking medical definition, cannot form a core memory of friends.
And by the way,
maybe
really
of
quick,
the parents. Hold on, Leroy, before you jump in as the father. So it's weird. Hey, Jesse, I'm going to offer you 7 figures to move the wife and the 2-year-old to another place.
By the way, really quick, am I going fucking crazy? Is Rebecca Lynch from fucking America?
Nope. No, but she lives in Iowa.
Okay, so she lives in Iowa with her husband.
Well, no. Actually, no. They have a house in Iowa, and they have a house in Florida.
Yes.
They live just straight down the road.
But let's be she's not from here either. It's funny. She doesn't usually have fucking visa issues, and it's also funny because she came back after like a year after the baby, or like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What did they talk about? Oh man, we actually took Rue on the road. Because, we got to have some memories with her because we would travel, go to sightseeing, because we could just have our daughter with her because WWE was cool with it. I thought this was the Family Guy, not Peter Griffin. I thought it was Tony Khan. So you can't bring the kid?
See, it's one...
I get every situation isn't the same.
Yeah.
But it feels like bullshit.
But you're bitching about something that, by the way, Caleb Hammer would go off like you because every time someone tries to explain their personal situation, someone says to Caleb Hammer, well, unfortunately, I miss hours at work because my car doesn't always work. And then Caleb goes, you live in a major city. Uber exists.
Well, and sometimes, like, one, it was in Texas. He's like, there's a bus, there's a train, there's Uber. Like, you have options. And that's my problem. Like, so you have the same options as Rebecca Lynch. You have the same options as Rusev, who decided to just become a citizen here. Like, you have options. And listen,
which is not easy. I'll give people that. Right, it fucking sucks.
And every family dynamic is different. I'm not trying to hate on that part. But I'm just saying you complained and made all that shit when it came to you and Triple H because I want to stay with her and the kid. By the way, she ends up getting hired with you. So she has to work
WWE wouldn't have hired Alex Windsor to be a fucking NXT talent.
They would have loved to have her.
Are we fucking high off our ass right now?
If I'm there and I'm married, we have a small child, and they go, hey, we're going to pay you this much. Can you move over here? I'd be like, hey, bitch, we're moving.
That's the thing.
I don't give a shit
she
what
does
you
the
say,
same
woman.
job you do for the same fucking company you do. The child is relatively at a point where, let's be honest, I think again, it's people's family, but it's like 9 or 10. But it's like, again, in the example that we used, you have a 2-year-old who can't form core memories except for the family he's been around every single day. That's literally proven by fucking science. I know we don't listen to it in America because RFK Jr. is a weird leather couch, but still. Jesse, don't laugh because JD Vance might find out that I called him a leather couch. Be careful. Anyway.
Fuck him.
I mean, we all know they're on Grindr. Continue.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But anyway, that's the thing. And by the way, 100% of all Grindr accounts are attached to a conservative white woman. It's funny.
All I'm saying is every time the Republicans get together, Grindr goes down.
It's hilarious.
So, like, it's weird, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, but here's
the biggest hookup in the world.
By the way, folks, oddly enough, an actual statistic that Jesse can find.
Yes.
But anyway, no. So let's say the example.
Grindr put it out.
They did. They said it.
It's horrible.
But no, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is one thing to be Ozzy Osbourne and stick to your guns and say, I don't want to live in America. Fuck this, but I'll tour it because that's the biggest place to make money. But he doesn't live here. He has no residence, and he gets he's already a citizen, I think, with this. But it's like he just tours here. He doesn't live here. He doesn't have a residence here. He sells it. He's done with it, and then doesn't bitch about having to fly from London because he chose to live in London.
And by the way, because like I told people, the other thing is like, when it comes to this too, and I understand the kid's like almost a teenager, so maybe you want the kid to still grow up with their friends over there. I do understand the situations. I can be different, but it's just like, so you're telling me that like for 3 months, because by the way, they do have about 3 months in their school system in London, he can't just come live with you guys?
Well, not only that, but Jesse, let's just talk shop.
And by the way, she works more than Will does.
Yeah.
So like, listen, I'm not trying to get into the fan, but it's just I heard it. I'm like, this is bullshit.
But Jesse, this is not us talking about someone else's family where a man can stand.
But the promo was bullshit.
You put it out there.
Yeah.
Jesse, it just recently happened on a Caleb Hammer episode of Financial Audit. You gave me a quote unquote, this is how they say in the show, a no-no list of stuff I am not allowed to talk about on the podcast, but I learned that my producers learned about in the pre-show interview. You brought it up during recording and didn't say to the producer, cut that. So now, based on the piece of paper you signed, I am allowed to talk about it. So, Will, you talk about the grind that you so eloquently didn't want to go on by flying back and forth to the United States. You talked about it. You brought it up. You talked about how hard it is. It's funny. Jesse's like, it could have been easier.
Dude, WWE helps you guys get housing when you come over here.
Not to mention the fact it's Florida. They build more housing like crazy.
Yeah, no, flying, I've flown.
It's also a red state.
It wears your ass out flying.
By the way, it doesn't. Florida also doesn't have income tax for state income tax.
That's true.
So like, so you actually get more money. So like, if you live in Minnesota, it's like 10%. It's kind of high, but
Also, by the way, you're in Florida, one of the number one tourist destinations in the world. So you know what you and Alex do? It's funny because this is what Jesse would do. And yes, it's very hard to do, but you're in Florida. It's easier to do than it is in fucking Kansas. You buy a nice beach house, and then when you don't live there, you rent the bitch out.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
My fucking in-laws brought me to a beach house in Panama City Beach, Florida. Dude, that's someone's home.
Right.
But they weren't there while we were there, but they made a lot of money off us for being there.
I just, like I said, they're cutting the promo, and as Will is cutting his side of it, I'm just like, dude, this is sometimes why when I hear AEW promos, I start to hate them. Because they get back into shit that you said you didn't want to do
Once
before.
again, prophetic words from Phillip Brooks. Some people don't need writers. Others do. Some prefer them. Hey, Will, start preferring it because you got 2 strikes so far. The other one was, the only reason why AEW sucks right now is because you're a world champ.
That was great. Because, by the way,
you paused and you looked at Tony Schiavone and were like, and again, everyone's like, he never said it. His fucking face did. He was like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that.
I gotta tell people. Cody's only egregious promo, because the Roman fans hate on him, and it's whatever. Cody's only egregious promo is that whole half black thing in Atlanta, where I'm like, dude, I'm ready to smack the shit out of you because you're just lying.
And
you're crying and you're lying. I love you, but I'm ready to smack the shit out of you.
You had to use the daughter to get the tear, which is weird because Willow actually. By the way, last week Willow, amazing promo. Like it needs to be like, folks, we won't go into it. Go watch it.
And by the way, and before I let you move on, the worst part of that promo, as I said back then, you're cutting against a nigga from London. What are you talking about, Cody? It makes no fucking sense. What are you? You get to write your own stuff, man. You gotta double check it, man. But yeah, go on to the next. I like, listen, man. It just fucking. How do you have Dan Malenko, Jerry Lynn? Like, you have legitimate great legends in this game. You guys just don't go to them. Ever.
You know what, Jesse?
Roman Reigns has admitted, I still talk to Triple H about promos. He admitted it. So
CM Punk admitted it.
Like, I'll go to Triple H. You know, I'm thinking about saying this. What are your thoughts? Because listen. Triple H wasn't the greatest promo, but he understood how to do them and for the best of business.
Jesse, when you think about all-time promos, it's The Rock, it's Stone Cold,
sure.
it's Flair, and it's Hogan. But everybody else was still a good, decent promo. But the problem is that Will is coming off as, bro, you need someone to proofread this shit.
Well, it's
because you can't tell me that someone wouldn't have looked at Will and said, Will, yeah. You literally have already said in an interview that you didn't want to live in the U.S. Okay, yeah, bruv. What's that about? Why are you complaining about living in the UK? Why are you complaining about the travel when that was one of the main reasons you didn't want to sign with WWE?
Well, anytime you write anything, like when we were in school, you had somebody look at it. Or as Jesse, as you're writing some music for your band, you're going to go, hey, guys, and have somebody in the band look at it to see what they,
because they have to play it.
Because they got but also it's like, hey, I did this. What do you think of it?
Right.
And you figure stuff out.
Jesse,
you got to.
That's the thing. There are certain dynamics in music that make sense. 3 and 4. I apologize. 2 writes everything himself because Vessel don't touch that. 3 and 4 show up, and Vessel's got an idea of what they need to play. Right. And they're like, well, you're the biggest touring band in the world. We're going to make a lot of money. Let's go do this. Right. But I also think at this point, with the success they've had, Vessel's like, okay, what do you guys think? Because you get what I'm trying to do here.
Right.
You understand it. Cannon Fiber, everything's basically done by noise.
Right.
But again, when you talk about the anonymous band from Europe, oddly enough, the guy that is also in the band and is a big part of writing stuff isn't just noise; it's the drummer. Oddly enough, it's weird. Drummers are talented motherfuckers. Who knew? But it's like Jesse. It doesn't hurt to get 40 eyes on something. As long as you have the ability.
By the way, I'm still thinking about this problem. Hey, Kenny, I hit you with the move. No, nigga, no. Nigga, no. By the way, I think I actually said nigga, no as I was watching this. I'm like, nigga, no. What are you talking about?
Because you knew what he was going to
say. Yeah. Because because I can't, blah, 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 and I want the best. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I still remember, before I let you move on, I still fucking remember before the Stone Cold heel turn, that bullshit from The Rock and Stone Cold. The Stone Cold Stunner will not matter. Well, neither was the Rock Bottom. Oh, hell yeah. You guys couldn't have been in the same room. Because I swear, with my cousin Michael in the same room, I'm like, these two niggas are lying to us right now.
And when you say that, Jesse, I can picture you in front of your TV doing that.
Oh, I went off, and my cousin was like, bro, that's Stone Cold and The Rock. I'm like, no, fuck these two. I'm like, this match better be good. This is one of the worst promos I've ever seen from these two. It's dog shit. I'll let you go ahead and move on. I couldn't believe this shit.
Thanks, Jesse. Because
speaking of dog shit,
because Jesse, speaking of dog shit, Andrade and defeated Commander and Tommaso for the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet at All In. Tommaso just got beat by a drill.
Dude, can I?
Yeah, that was horrible.
Listen, I want to be clear. It's right now when I look at Andrade, you know who he reminds me of? The White Six. It's just untapped potential at this point. He went back. He's actually doing great stuff. They're just doing.
Oh, hold on. You want untapped potential? That's what comes up next. Thanks for those transitions here, boys. It's great. Then apparently out of nowhere, MJF appears, attacks Andrade, has the Triple B, but he's not going after the world title.
Nigga, you lost. Why? So
I guess the knee, Leroy, was an old injury that was bad because why would he be out here doing this if he had a knee problem?
I thought he did.
Here's the thing. I'm confused. Why is MJF doing the Kevin Owens storyline without the Kevin Owens storyline with Cody Rhodes? Remember, Kevin went and got the old WWF title because he felt like he got screwed, which is why they were doing the big match of Saturday Night's Main Event.
Which, by the way, was literally the remake of the FTW championship in ECW.
Because he was like, I'm the uncrowned champion. Really quick, MJ, you lost. Like, you got beat and pinned by Kenny Omega. Why are you carrying the Burberry? Like, you are not an uncrowned champion, nigga. You straight up lost. What I appreciated, like I told people, what I appreciated the most going back into the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton feud was Randy basically saying, listen, you, even though, he got mad at the permission thing, which he should as that character, but he also said, you know what? I tried to do the best version of myself. And to give you credit, I lost. Right?
Yeah, and I'm going to find the worst.
And then I punted you because I snapped, right? I get it. But, like, that's not the explanation we got from MJF.
You want me to give you the explanation from MJF?
Because there's people who listen to us that don't watch. Yeah, so in a second.
Okay, Andrade immediately turned to the entrance when the music hit, but MJF came out of the crowd and attacked Andrade from behind with his Triple B belt. Held up the title, but still a former champion. They even put that in their review. Still a former champion. This is their site, by the way, folks. MJF took his Dynamite Diamond ring from Andrade. That's why the fans gave it a pass that he attacked Andrade, was because he got the ring back, which he also lost fair and square in a match that he wasn't involved in. We agreed he should have been in it to lose it, but he lost it.
Right.
And posed for the crowd. He did it again. MJF unloaded on Andrade's head on the floor, and then he threw him off it to, like, okay, on the ramp, and then threw him off on the floor.
Right.
MJF picked up his Triple B and microphone while medical personnel attended to Andrade. He said, someone needs to get that piece of trash from this piece of shit country out of the arena right now. MJF says he's
Pause really quick. I'm getting real tired of that shit from MJF.
Yeah.
It's just low-hanging fruit.
Yep. Anyway, MJF said he's an American hero and the best professional wrestler in the world, and make no mistake about it, I am your champion. You lost the match without interference. Kenny did that. You didn't screw it. The heel didn't get overconfident and then Kenny overcame. You lost it straight up.
Nigga, he just beat you, cuz. Like, if my boy gets into a fight, this is old New York. My boy gets into a fight. We're watching a fight. It was straight up one-on-one, so we didn't have to jump in. He gets knocked out. If he gets up and goes, why didn't you help? Nigga, you lost.
Hold on. MJF said he had Kenny dead to rights until Will Ospreay got involved.
All he did was take the fake ring from you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He didn't touch you. He didn't hit you. He didn't.
You left it on the ground, and he grabbed it off the goddamn mat.
He didn't hidden blade you?
Right. No, nigga, you lost.
And he says he has a problem with Will.
I know we're talking about
why isn't he doing something?
And that's where you're dead on.
Go.
So I know the heel is supposed to be delusional. Okay, then why aren't you attacking Will Ospreay?
Yeah. Logically, he should be.
No, he's attacking Andrade.
Yeah. And they're just doing the Darby Allin thing because Darby
By
Allin.
the way, really quick, where are we going? So if Andrade beats him at All In, should Andrade get a title shot?
He should.
Or be in line for one? Because, by the way, he's the hottest male superstar you have right now.
He should, no matter what.
I don't want to hear about triple no's and all this shit ever again from this fan base when I watch this booking.
We took a special look at the women's championship match, I swear to God,
Willow is so special.
You're going to take it off of Willow, and
not.
Even their fans are going to hate. Because by the way, this is not going to be heat of the heel won. They don't want Mercedes to win the belt.
Willow is evolving in front of our eyes, and it is special. Hey, Mercedes, you're kind of doing what you wanted to do in a way, but you not winning the title is probably the best thing for you. Your Stan fan base can be mad. I don't give a fuck.
Next up, AEW, and then that led into AEW World Champion Willow with the Brawling Birds. The wife of Will Ospreay, who again is on the show more than Will.
Jamie Hayter.
And Jamie Hayter, who once again everyone's like, they've done great for her since she's been back.
Nigga, what?
And that's what the internet likes to say. They beat Mercedes, and they beat the tag team champions.
Nigga, Mike Vick has treated dogs better than they've treated Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, right. Also, Jesse, you know what's really funny to me?
Besides your face?
You know what's funny is all I can see right now is you. So,
Jesse,
people want to give WWE a lot of flack for giving titles to people. They're not ready. They don't know what to do. They're kind of standing around. What's going on? What the fuck are Megan Bain and Lana Cross doing but walking around like statues with the belts?
They formed this faction with Monet. I thought it had potential, but I don't know where we're going. Reminds me a lot of the Vision.
They also can't...
the Booker really loves the faction, but he's not doing enough with it. And by the way, I do kill Triple H for that every time I see the Vision.
No, but that's who they are.
Right.
Like right now, the Divine Dominion, who, by the way, Mick, you'll never live that down. That's all I'm going to say. Why anyone let that say? That was a pre-tape and someone let that go to air. Anyway, moving on.
Recently he said, I love AEW's enthusiasm over WWE's corporate greed. And I'm just like, hey, Mick, you're a legend. You don't think you could have done nothing about that?
Yeah, that's funny. Mick, again, I love Mick. Great human being.
I will always love Mick. He's one of my heroes in pro wrestling.
But when you keep saying stupid stuff, I'm not going to just be like, I'm not going to eat the glue and thank you for the ice cream. Like,
I like that.
You're doing stupid shit.
I like that. Like I told people, I'm like, he just disappoints me now. I'm like, for me, he's Bernie Sanders in 2022 for me. Where I'm just like, I'm disappointed because you just gave up this time. Like, and for Mick, it's just like, so you're telling me you, as the legend Mick Foley, have no power to do anything in WWE? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like Triple H and Nick Khan won't respect your words. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Stephanie won't fight for you. That's bullshit.
But basically, okay, if you hate that the Vision are not acting as a tag team, defending the tag team titles, all this other kind of stuff, because they're so involved in whatever they're doing.
They also have like 2 of the members injured right now.
Right, yeah. No, I understand that. But Jesse, everyone's like, oh, the tag titles don't mean anything in WWE. Oh, because these 2 fucking tall women are actually doing a great fucking job.
Vision are probably going to lose those titles. Unless they have Bronson Reed come back.
Right.
So, like, yeah,
isn't he supposed to be coming back?
He's supposed to be coming back because he did say he's just about medical clear now.
Also, by the way, as we move forward, because I want to get through this, again, Kyle Fletcher beat Speedball. What was the fucking point?
Great match. Exactly. What the fuck is the point?
You built up Speedball to win in his hometown. Look, you don't have to do the opposite of everything Vince did and then just shit on somebody. Doesn't make you a better fucking promoter.
Here's the thing I don't understand. Like,
WWE told Tiffany Stratton you're not winning in Minnesota because there was no point.
That's true.
Really quick, Mike Bailey is one of the guys who really should be like a guy you should be booking. Like, he's one of our faces of AEW.
Yeah.
He never wins anything important.
No.
He never does anything important.
You know what's funny that you just said that? Kyle Fletcher never wins anything important either.
That's your young Randy Orton. Like, even like as a wrestling fan, we're like, dude, I love this dude. But when are they going to put him up with the big guys?
But Jesse, remember, you and I have to completely...
Though they already hurt him by having him just constantly lose to Will Ospreay.
Well, but Jesse, here's the deal. You and I both have to completely ignore everything you just said. And you want to know why? Because Speedball and Kyle Fletcher put on a fucking hell of a match.
Yeah, no. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, no.
Say that again, Leroy?
So?
Yeah.
Welcome to AEW land. Hey, Jesse. You have to forgive Tony's lack of vision, lack of booking.
Kind of wrestling in WWE. I'm sorry. So Javon Evans and Ethan Page wasn't fucking great. Is that what you're telling me?
That wasn't a fucking banger on fucking Raw?
Because if you're telling me they don't have AEW style matches in WWE, go watch that and not believe so. You're just lying.
If you're going to give me a great match, cool. Have a great match. But why are they wrestling? Give me a reason or story.
You know what's funny though?
Because also
why they are.
Also, those two are in the Intercontinental title picture.
And that makes it better.
Also, to piggyback off of what Leroy said, everyone who has said the words, "What the fuck is WWE doing?" not putting Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano in this tournament to face Roman Reigns. What is wrong? I'm like, because they already have a match they've been building for months at Triple Mania
for a world title.
By the way, folks, anyone who believes Dominic Mysterio was serious about what he said on that podcast, he was working. Look who his father is.
See,
I dislike how I'm booked in WWE, but I like how I'm booked in AAA. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Dominic was working all of you.
It should be the opposite.
But Jesse,
hate how he's
like,
booked
where
in
are the two
AAA?
biggest luchadors in your company? Okay, you all are admitting that whoever wins this tournament's losing to Roman on Raw. You are admitting that. So why would you put the two guys you're supposed to be building to your big main event of the year in the match?
You don't.
That doesn't make any sense.
This is an interpromotional match because they have 2 months to their next pay-per-view. To do something kind of fun, I'm sure they'll integrate it into the story for Roman and I believe it's LA Knight. So, like, yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. Because, by the way, this is they're having Raw in Mexico City
on September 14th.
So, like, their next pay-per-view is in, like, late fucking October. So, like, what?
Yeah, it's Money in the Bank is in October.
So, like, what the fuck are you guys? I don't get it.
And seeing, I was looking at him like,
what would be the point of
and
having...
why they were doing it so late, and then
but Jesse,
everything with AAA.
Because they originally moved 2 pay-per-views, including Money in the Bank, out of September.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
Triple Mania.
Here is where the sickos don't realize that if the roles were reversed and Tony was booking this, and Tony would have put El Grande Americano, would have picked Dominic Mysterio in that tournament, one of them wouldn't have made it out of the first round. Right. That's the stupid part.
Right.
The other one would have won everything, faced Roman Reigns. They
lost.
would have gone 20 minutes, but because they went 20 minutes and it was a banger, and Roman, despite being the dominant champion, could barely beat the guy. Oh, wait. All of you think you wouldn't look differently at the match at Triple Mania because they both now look more like, oh, it's a weird world, losers? Because that's what they would both be. Neither one of them's going to sniff a loss until fucking Triple Mania.
Right.
Because it's only fucking 3 weeks away.
And when we're done with this, we talk about who's going to be in that tournament. Oh.
Before we get there, though.
Yes, we got to get through this shit.
CMLL World Lightweight and World Trios Champion, Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion, and IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion Mystico. That's all one fucking sentence.
Yeah.
It's like, just say it's Mystico. Why the fuck do we have to label every fucking belt? We get it. He's a great worker.
He's excellent, but yeah.
Along with Darby Allin and Corazon de Leon Jericho. Just fucking be Chris Jericho. What the fuck are we doing?
He's just going back when he was the first time in Mexico.
Defeated.
I tapped out on Jericho 10 years ago.
Yeah. Defeated.
We only clap at him when he becomes
I just don't care.
Hall of Fame.
Defeated Kazuchika Okada, Hechicero, and again, Kevin Knight, because Kevin Knight can't buy a win even though he's the TNT champion.
It's so weird.
The gotta darn Don Callis family. Oh, my.
He like I said, he definitely likes Willow because Don't be black in AEW otherwise.
CMLL World Women's Champion Persephone defeated Chris Statlander.
Oh, really quick. Let's talk about this bullshit, shall we, Zach?
Yeah. Can we?
So
she loses again.
We want Bailey. Hey, you got young Bailey right now, Persephone. You guys don't do shit with her.
Nah, goddamn.
And by
thing.
the way, somebody just put out the report that WWE really likes what they see,
and they're confused. They're confused by the booking.
With any other women, blah 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 blah. I'm like, they don't do anything with Persephone now. Like, you've had her for over a year. Like, you don't do shit with her now. What? By the way, it's not like I want her to leave AEW. Just do something with her.
That report where everyone's like, because the report came out where supposedly that WWE's baffled by the booking of Persephone.
Like that,
and the sickos are like, well, of course they're baffled by good booking. I'm like, no, they're baffled because this is insanity.
It's like, no,
you have a star.
They're baffled because they look at her and they're like, dude, if we had her and Stephanie Fakir in the same company, holy shit. Like, that's the thing Triple H thinks about.
Yes.
Because, by the way, I guess we'll probably do it a different day. Maybe we'll do it this Saturday. Some of the interviews from the White Six members I thought were very intriguing. But yeah, But it tells a lot about who's actually wanting to release talent. But yeah, it's so funny. Like, you have this incredibly talented young woman. They really don't do shit with her, man.
And now you bring back Hangman Adam Page, to which Jesse and Leroy were like, "Hey, it's good. He's this," and I'm like, "No, it's shit." And now it's been proven because he can't go after the Men's World Championship. No one else says it, you motherfucker. Stop! For the love of fucking Christ. I'm pissed that WWE says the Women's United States Championship when clearly you are currently commentating on a segment in the women's division. But you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever. That annoys me, but we're not going to get into that right now.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, the Men's World title... You're the only fucker that says it. If Kenny said it, if NJF said it, if everyone said it, maybe. You're the only fucking twink that says it, you fucking loser. Teams up with Brodito. Boy, they were a hot ticket item for a while. They're back to being a tag team. Yeah, they defeated the Demand that everyone forgot were the Trios champions. Hey, Ricochet, how's it working out for you? About the same.
Somebody was put out the question, does it feel like he's getting booked better because, in AEW or WWE? And I was like, nigga, it's the same. Ball-headed ass still in the mid-division. It's about the same. And by the way, unlike WWE so far, he hasn't sniffed the heavyweight division, or as far as the men's title in AEW. To be fair, he got 5 shots at it in WWE. So at least Vince and Triple H did build him as an upper mid-card guy. Mm-hmm. So, like, it is what it is. But it's like, if we're just real about it, also, how do you have Samoans? And this is how you use your Samoans. It confuses me.
Well, but see, Jesse, this is the part I don't think people get. They bring back Hangman Adam Page, and I'm like, you know what? Unfortunately, even for me, who has a hatred of this loser piece of shit motherfucker, Jesse, they have a somewhat interesting story in that he can't go for the title. But maybe he could find a way back. No, he's just going to win the Trios tag team titles. You know what Tony's probably going to do with this story? He's going to win every other belt in their fucking company over the next 2 years.
It's going to feel very Cody Rhodes-ish, where it's just like, why did you allow Cody to do that?
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing. No, I don't hate Hangman as much as you do. I do get tired of the men's world shit. Nigga,
but Jesse, to be fair, to hate, I would have to actually give a shit about what he does. He's just a useless fucking nothing on this show now.
I don't believe I've gotten any more conservative, but like when I hear shit like that, I'm just like, did I? Because it annoys the shit out of me now. Like, I don't believe I'm a conservative. I love the gay community. I love everyone who isn't in the government of Israel or the United States.
Fair enough.
I am truly deeply fucking bothered when I just hear, it's the men's world championship because the women do matter. Yeah, they matter, but you don't have to say men's world championship. It's the AEW Heavyweight World Championship. The women have the AEW Women's World Championship.
There is
all it does is distinct.
There is an NWA World's Heavyweight title.
Correct.
There is an NWA Women's World's Heavyweight Championship.
It just distincts the divisions. That's it. That's all the name does.
And also to point out, Jesse, the reason why they do say...
And by the way, the reason companies like yourself continue to fucking do this is because you act like, and yes, it's scripted, that you can't have the women wrestle the men. Which makes I'm a leftist. It just makes no sense to me. It's scripted. You can make it work.
Vince did it.
I think, and Rebecca has talked. I shouldn't say Rebecca, but Becky Lynch has talked about Triple H hasn't. He's told us we don't say no because I don't think it's not a good idea. We say no probably because of sponsorships. They don't really want it on TV. Because Triple H, I'm sure, would be fine if Becky Lynch wanted to fucking wrestle. I'll just throw like Javon Evans out there. It would be a great match. Now, you'd probably tell him, like, you don't want to do too many forearms because she is a woman. But otherwise, do the rest of your stuff. It's fine.
Yeah. Next up, Jesse, we could have easily just told the story that the man, because, the man himself said it in the promo last week that we've ripped apart, I came back too soon. We could have just told the story that, no, despite the fact he said that and everyone's like, well, don't forget. Remember, magic. Look at the right hand. The left hand's doing all the work behind my back, but look at my right hand. Look at my right hand. Oh, look, something's in my left hand. I was doing it the whole time, you fuckers. That's all magic is. Remember, Jesse, promo. I did all this work. I love you, Kenny. I want you at your best. Look at this. I came back too early from this. Wrestles Mark Davis in a street fight?
I'm lost.
You're lost? I had to say all that.
I'm lost. I'm lost. Well, we're in front of our Mexican fans. We want to give them a great match. So you have to do a street fight. You just did a match. Which, by the way, after bitching about coming back too soon. But still, you just did a match.
The heel is supposed to be dumber than the babyface. But the babyface
He started to book his babyfaces like Vince did.
Yeah, but the babyface took a street fight against a faction that I thought he closed out. Why are you fighting the Don Callis family?
I'm at a loss, man. I listen, I keep saying, I do try to give pro wrestling bookers a bit of a break. And I know I kill Tony Khan a lot. And I've killed Triple H recently for some bad booking. But the reason I don't kill Triple H more isn't because I hate Tony Khan personally. It's because of shit like this. If I'm watching a TV show, people kill the last season of Game of Thrones, right? And like I told people, really, Denise and all, they rushed it too much.
Yeah.
It really should have been a season 8 and 9. They just rushed it. They fucked that up. Even now they've admitted that.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have rushed it, right? We should have just did 8 and then 9. It probably would have came off better. Fine. Because George had already told them where his endings will probably go.
Yeah.
So that's what they booked their writing off of.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. They didn't want to offend George and make sure that they got to the ending.
Yeah. And a bunch of them wanted to run off to start doing Star Wars.
And a few of them had other projects coming up. She had the one who used to be married to the Jonas brother had X-Men and shit.
Yeah.
Like, all that shit was going on. Okay. It feels like most of the time with AEW, maybe he had a plan in place with that stupid fucking folder. And then nowadays, like, he gets to the shows, he's just like, oh, you guys just go out there and have a great match. You guys are great wrestlers. Just go have a great match. So you're not even confident in that fucking folder you have. Like, so what are you doing?
Well, he's turned his life over to God. Is it a folder or is it a scroll now?
It might be a Bible now.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, hold on.
Not a good one, though.
Yeah, no.
Not like the Holy Bible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a dipshit.
I appreciate you, Leroy. I really do.
I pray for the motherfucker, but he's a dipshit.
I came back. Okay, so yes, everyone's like,
I came back too soon.
Everyone's
Let's have
like,
a street fight.
Everyone's like, oh no, you're circling back. Yeah, because it's part of the thing we're currently talking about. Came back too early. Street fight. Oh, fuck.
All I'm saying is you guys want us to be even. If this was WWE, I'd be like Triple H. This is bad. This is not Triple H wouldn't do it, but Vince did it a lot. And it was just like, dude, this is just bad. This is really bad TV. Guys, this is bad TV. I don't care how great the match is. This is bad TV.
And that's the thing, Jesse, is we watch a sport like the NFL. And yeah, sometimes you get bad games. But we watch for the sport of it.
Correct.
But we're also not watching Justin Jefferson and Jordan Love talking one-on-one the Saturday before the game.
Right.
That's not how the sport is built. That's not how it goes. Drama helps in sports, but, dude, we know how this game goes.
Right.
We know that you're supposed to make us care. We know that there's supposed to be a little bit of something between these guys, and it's like, okay, so what the fuck is Kenny, like, honestly, and I can't believe I'm saying this because it's just been dog shit. They should have left Will Ospreay in the Death Riders, but tell the Kenny match. It would have made so much more sense.
Dude. And like I said, because you're on different boards than I am. By the way, Zach's sometimes on Reddit. You can go find him. He's also on Facebook. I'm usually on Reddit. And by the way, you can also just join the Patreon. Patreon.com/13cards Change Podcast LLC. Because we also have our Discord code up there. And you can always join that in. I always have it on. I want to start doing live reactions through that. So get on the Discord. But I tell people all the time, like, when I watch these things, I promise you, my initial reaction is, when I first hear about it, I'm like, I'll just let it play out. I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna let it play out. And then after it plays out, I go, this is so fucking bad. TV-wise, this is bad. This is why the company doesn't grow. This is bad.
And that's why, as we transition away from AEW, we'll get into a little WWE here. That's why I tell people, what is wrong with Joe Hendry and Danhausen doing what they do when you know it's a variety show and you know that neither one of these guys is currently going for the World Heavyweight Championship?
Joe Hendry will be fine. I know right now, like, of course, one of the more popular guys talking about that. Why did they go get Joe Hendry just to bury him? Is, the JD from New York. And I simply told him, I'm like, they didn't get Joe Hendry to bury him. They got Joe Hendry because he's popular. There's a plan in place. Right now he's doing some comedy stuff, but he's also been included in the Intercontinental title picture.
Not to mention the fact, Jesse, this is where wrestling fans cannot be bookers. There are a couple of guys that, you sign, they're immediately in my mid-card or in my main card. They're the guys. Yeah. That's what you do. Yeah. You get a Brock Lesnar, he's in your main event. Like end of story.
Right.
Sometimes you get a guy who's popular but isn't the fucking guy that just all of a sudden is the world heavyweight champion material. He had a shtick. He knew he was good at it. He fucking released it to get the shtick.
Listen, TNA did what they were supposed to do as a company trying to come back up. And that was, one of our guys got super duper over. By the way, he had been over for 4 years before winning that title.
True.
And it just got to a point that, like, he's our most popular guy. It just makes sense to just put the title on.
Because I always tell people, you guys all got into Joe Hendry because the song came out on Spotify. Dude's been doing this gimmick for, like, fucking years at this point.
Like 8 years now. So
guy was popping out of fridges.
Right. Like I told people, I'm like...
You had AJ Francis going, don't do it. Don't you fucking do
it. Like, I told people, I'm like, here's the thing, like... I think you're missing the whole point. Triple H didn't sign him just to quote-unquote bury him. He saw what happened at Mania. And he went, this guy belongs.
Yeah.
There's a plan in place.
Also, by the way, we're the diehards. We want the wrestlers to get paid. Vince would never do that. Okay, that's an argument that you can't really win right now because, okay, he paid pretty well. But hold on. Joe got more money to go to WWE than TNA was willing to offer.
Yep.
And even if AEW would have offered him, he wouldn't have been offered that much. Like, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Not to mention the fact, okay, we bring in fucking Adam Copeland into AEW, immediately starts working with his old buddy Christian. Boy, that really factors into my TV because, they already did this like fucking 40 times in WWE.
Back when I was younger.
Oh, by the way, Joe Hendry shows up. What's the first thing he does? WrestleMania with Randy Orton.
Pretty cool spot.
That ain't bad.
Didn't get buried at all.
Got in offensive moves.
Right. Also, really quick.
And Randy kind of gimmicked
because this one will personally affect him. Man, they buried Jordan Grace. I'm like, dude, she was the last time she was on TV, she was in the women's world title picture.
Yeah.
He does not want to put her as a mid-carder. So why would I have her on TV doing shit that will only diminish the character?
See, that's the part that, like...
saying that about my girl, I'm going to go slap him.
See, that's actually...
They're saying it, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to go slap some people.
But see, that's actually one of the things that I want to try to bring up when we do the live show, if we have an audience for it, is like, okay, so let me ask the group. Would you rather someone be on TV every week, being up and down, making you question where they're going with it, or just not be there and make me question where they're going with it, and then 6 months down the line when we've wrapped up a few other things, they come out and we know they're meant to be the big star. Like I told people,
just think about it this way. Of course, you got War Games coming up. I do believe Triple H keeps overplaying his hand with this match.
Oh, Allison's over it too. I agree with you.
I've always told people, even if some of the criticism isn't sincere, I do agree with it. Just do the 5-on-5. It's fine, Triple H. Just do the 5-on-5.
And then maybe 3-4 years from now, because we'll all still be watching. 3-4 years from now, get 4 to 5 people on one side of an argument and 4 to 5 people on the other, and escalate it to the point where you can't get the show going because we open 3 Raws in a row with them fighting and we close 2 of them, right. And then have William Regal walk out and yell War Games. It's not that hard.
I keep telling people, I'm like, the problem sometimes for Triple H and his booking is like he just loves Survivor Series. Because when it was in his prime and The Rock's prime, it did matter.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view did matter.
Look, Jesse. Jesse.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like the AJ.
Who debuted on it? A few people debuted on it.
Undertaker.
One of the greatest debuts ever, The Undertaker.
But yeah, no, Jesse. But like, look, okay. I will say this. I am not going to get political. I am just going to give this as an example. Look, based on his diary and all the evidence they found in this most recent court case, did Fauci get a little bit caught up in the fact that the whole world knew his name and they were making him famous? Yeah, name a person that wouldn't. Not trying to get political, but oh no, they stuck a camera in your face and you got a little bit hot-headed. Wow, you're human.
My problem was the line that ended up getting people killed.
Every
That's
side
a different discussion.
Yeah.
But like, that's where I'm like, I don't like Republicans in the Washington, D.C., but on that issue, I'm a little on their side. He lied. People died. He should probably go to jail.
Whatever. Yeah. And I say whatever because I don't want to get into that.
Well, right.
I'm using it as an example of
I get what you mean.
That was a BS thing. Like, okay,
Yeah.
focus on what you said, not on the whole,
Sure.
he posed for a magazine.
Yeah,
Wow.
that shit I don't care about.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. But okay, Triple H is a little bit, maybe in a couple of moments, thinking about what he loved about him. Wow, what? Because Tony doesn't admit that he wants to book what he used to watch when he was a kid. Like, guys.
Wrestle Dream is just a stolen idea from New Japan anyway.
Exactly. So, like, again, oh no, Triple H occasionally gets up in his own feelings about his booking. Wow, it's almost like he's human. Holy shit. But yes.
Yep.
War Games doesn't need to happen. We all agree with that. But again, here we are, and we move with what we got. But again, guys, look at what's on this roster. You got Solo that everyone's actually intrigued at because they let him have a personality.
They literally changed the whole ending of a damn SummerSlam match.
LA Knight is literally every day talking about Roman Reigns.
Right.
And he's not just like, oh, it's there. Oh, we're Vince. Oh, cut. He said the wrong thing. Redo it. Blah, blah. No, they're letting him talk 10 to 15 minutes a night about Roman Reigns.
They're actually going to do the match between him and Roman.
Yeah. And he might actually finally get the win.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah. CM Punk is interacting with Johnny Gargano, mentioning Johnny Gargano. People are talking to Jesse. It's going to pop at some point. But Triple H, obviously has a plan. And yeah, the average person might think it's gone on a little long, whatever. But
he's just going for the world ranking record of planking.
You're the best. You're the best dad to have on the show because all your jokes are just dumb meme jokes from everybody else.
Well,
it wasn't even original material. You just steal people's material.
He's going to have the record for planking.
You're a Midwestern dad. You just double down on. You think you're funny, but you just stole the joke from someone else. You're great. We love it.
I am funny.
But yeah, it's going to
more than just funny looking.
That doubles down on it.
Yeah, but Johnny Gargano is, to me, I'm like, that planking thing is going to end up with him probably snapping on someone, and he's going to be in a big story.
Well, but that's the thing, Jesse. Who is he on TV with besides his wife, who's the comedy relief?
It's all main eventers at this point.
Sammy, who was just the world champion.
Cody Rhodes earlier in the
Cody
thing.
Rhodes.
CM Punk. Kevin Owens.
More than once.
Like, I'm like, he's actually right now in the scene with main eventers. A little bit through Sammy, but he's in the scene. I'm like, with Triple H, that's not by accident. Something's going to happen with that.
And yeah, maybe we've really dove into Jacob is subservient. And yeah, I'll admit, even to me, I think the Usos are probably the biggest issue I have with this next line. The Usos and the Bloodline are kind of becoming Fast and the Furious. It's all about family. Like, I mean, to a point it's happening.
It gets a little fucking ridiculous.
But we all know that Jacob Fatu can only be contained even by Roman Reigns for so long. They're just going to unleash Jacob on Roman at some point.
Again.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen again.
And Roman may die.
But it's like, that's the thing. Is like, yes, are the Usos a little too Vin Diesel sometimes about you wouldn't understand family business? Like, we get it. But Jesse, like you said, if you watch all of Raw and not just focus on two things from Raw, there's still a good upper mid-card thing with Ethan Page, Javon Evans, and Rusev going on.
I told people on my post-SummerSlam, maybe Triple H finally got the full reins back. Because I'm like, boy, this has been a lot of shit we've been missing.
And yeah, Big Cass comes back, and it wasn't the way everyone thought. But I'll admit, I think that was everybody, once again, out-booking themselves.
Oh, they booked it themselves. Well, we want Enzo. Nigga, Enzo's been at the thing. He's clearly coming back. Cass can work without Enzo.
And that's the thing that bothers me is, like, I'm actually going to defend AEW for 5 seconds. Jesse, that means you didn't watch anything over there, which, yes, sometimes I say works in WWE's favor, but again, it's a case-by-case basis. In some cases, it's a good thing nobody watched Ethan Page in AEW because he comes in and he's all of a sudden taken seriously because they made it a serious note. I also love the heel thing of he took the whole ego thing out of it so people could stop chanting asshole. I thought that was funny, but, like, I miss it because it was a cool, fun thing. But, like, no, I'll say it. Sometimes it's good that you know nothing what happened in AEW. But for a guy that left WWE without a really good in-ring career and then went to AEW and had some pretty good in-ring stuff, I'll admit, when he wasn't in the learning tree.
Right.
Like, he comes back and everyone's like, where's Enzo? Okay, so you're just admitting that you don't want him to come back and prove to you that he can do it on his own.
Right.
So the promo he cut later is like, I've been gone for 8 years. It pretty much saying you fucking forgot about me. I'm going to come back and kill some people.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that was great.
We'll see where he works it up to.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, yeah, if he's doing the attacking people thing, we'll see where Triple H really wants to put him. Because I'm like, wanted to attack Javon Evans first. Well, if you want him as a heel, that'll do it.
Because Rey Mysterio wasn't available.
And then, like, we'll see how far he goes up in his attacks. Because what he said was, Javon is the first of many.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Let it play out.
And by the way, also let it play out. Oh, no. WWE.
It's so funny because, like I keep saying about Tony Khan, even when I'm watching the show, I go, let it play out. Something I did not do for Vince for years because he didn't deserve it anymore.
Exactly. But no, Jesse, then you bring back Baron Corbin, and everyone's like, oh, what's he going to be? They immediately shoot him to a place where he's relevant, and everyone's like, he didn't deserve it because of Trick. Trick is being moved.
Trick's going up.
He's going up.
Look, folks. Vince created a version of wrestling. I always said, if Trick finds something and he hones in on it and it gets over, he's going to move up faster than Melo.
Yeah.
I knew it because I watched it. Because he's got the size.
I was going to say, the charisma more than anything.
He lacked charisma and confidence when he was the lackey to Melo, but when he finally got it, I guarantee Sean was like, do that.
Right.
Be that.
Right.
And he's moved up faster than Melo.
Right.
But Melo, also, everyone's like, Trick's going to leave him in the dust. Meanwhile, a story that Trick is technically still in right now as we sit here and breathe. Melo seemed to have had a moment with Baron Corbin and said, oh, you forgot about me.
Right. He's going to get his title shot in his hometown of Boston.
Yeah.
So, like, it's... guys,
you gotta let things
happen.
happen.
Let things play out.
You know, Jesse?
Yes.
It's funny. There are a bunch of people in the media.
I mean, let's talk about this thing. Like I said, he must have got control back because this is the story we all wanted with Cody and fucking Randy Orton.
Yeah.
That got ruined because people got themselves involved and inserted Pat McAfee where he did not
and by the way, Jesse, also, people consider, Jesse, it's funny. I watch a lot of sports media, right? Why the hell do I watch the games if this team's going into the season, then they're already going to win everything based upon this?
Right.
Because it can still play out.
Right. You got to let it play out.
Yes, the Minnesota Lynx are the best team in the NBA right now.
WNBA,
yeah, in the WNBA. Unfortunately, they kind of in recent years, have tripped at the finish line.
I know right now everyone's picking the Rams to win the Super Bowl because they feel like a super team and they might get their legend back. And I'm like, well, that was supposed to happen last year. And then it was Seahawks that won it.
Last I checked, Sam Darnold's got the ring, not Myles Garrett.
Correct.
So, I mean,
and with Randy coming back, and that's could be another crack in Cody's armor when Cody loses to Randy. Another step closer.
Allison keeps asking.
Homelander Cody.
Allison keeps asking, are you sure they're not going to turn Randy heel here? And I'm like, sweetie, they can't. Listen to the crowd. Triple H listens to the live reactions. He's not going to just be...
I think...
Randy can't go out there and just act like a heel.
Well, also when Cody looked at him and said, I don't have to be the good guy.
You guys don't even understand what that means.
That gives such a hint.
With all, Leroy, I love you, but to you and the other fans, with all due respect, you guys don't even know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, you don't.
You guys have
No,
idea.
you don't. Because you didn't watch.
I remember.
I'm looking forward
You went to the shows more than I did, but
I
watched the shit out of it.
This.
Y'all ain't ready for what Homelander Cody actually looks like.
Because see, Homelander Cody doesn't just throw out fun little tidbits. Hey, this is the internet jargon. Dude gets personal.
He starts paying people to beat you up just because I want an easy night.
I want to get.
He pays a woman to leave.
Yeah.
He didn't pay for sex. He paid for her to leave and told her it was $20 more than she was going to get paid for the night.
And then as far as insulting the crowds, you don't want that. I don't think people are ready for that.
What do you want to talk about is going to lead into an insult that is not just your hockey team sucks. It's going to cut the city deep.
So what do you want to talk about? Your drug infestation? Like, it's going to be, oh, shit, really, Cody? We're talking about that? Like, you wanted Homelander Cody, and now he's here. Be careful what you wish for.
But no, Leroy.
If you didn't like Steiner, what he said, if you died, just wait till what Cody says.
Leroy, you don't get that.
Oh, man.
You don't understand that it's not as simple, especially if Triple H just says, go beat that version of Cody. It's not simple as Cody's going to slowly dip into a thing. When Cody is ready to, quote, flip the switch, there's no putting that fucking thing back in the box.
That ends with Randy getting slaughtered at some point. So like,
I feel Randy is going to lose this in grandiose fashion.
Bloody fashion.
That's just
There's a reason he became the leader of Bullet Club America. Like it was just like, this nigga really is undeniable. This is crazy work.
I loved how Raw this week was great. How they ended it with Roman going back there and then him looking at Ray going, Ray looks at he's like, we got to talk.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. People
And
forget that like we only know about the chicken farm because backstage he beat the dog shit out of Jay Briscoe, and there was chicken shit on him. I'm like, heel Cody might be worse than 2009 because he truly doesn't give a fuck.
No.
But he truly does not give a fuck.
Cody Rhodes got over with the fans because he did some of the most fucking heinous shit.
It was heinous.
Good guy Cody is family friendly. Homelander Cody is not family friendly.
I'm like, I wish Tom Brady would have gone this heel.
Well, I did join SmackDown, but a lot of people are saying it, and I have to agree with a few things. The match, the main event on Friday.
Okay, go on.
I mean, I saw a different spot. I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's okay. You can say it.
The chemistry between the two didn't work really well that night.
You know what? When I was on the show, because I think that commentary happened when I was on the show for Chris Jericho. I'm going to eat some crow today.
Yeah.
Jericho was right. Fans learning certain things.
Yep.
Like, They had an off night.
Well, but see, okay, let me be very clear.
Do you think
I'm going to go with you on this?
Because we're wiping away all those great matches Jade has just had the past year.
Well, not only that, but what bothers me about fans using these terms and getting their 5 minutes of fame is not understanding that, guys, the point of wrestling.
I call Jade the worst wrestler. I'm like, have you niggas lost your mind?
Yeah, but
they had a bad night.
But allow me to also point this out. I have said the best fix to botches, don't try to do it again.
Correct.
Move on.
Correct.
That's why when I saw it, I know they messed up what they were trying to do, but they didn't just try to get back to it like they do in AEW because nobody can fucking...
It was just the finish of the match, too.
Yeah.
No, there was a couple things in between, but
there was a couple.
But it's like
now you're nitpicking.
No. I just watched the whole match. There was a couple things, but
no. He's right. By
the end of the match was bad.
Hold on. By you saying it was a couple and him saying it was the ending, you're looking at it hoping that, and this is thank you for bringing it up. This is what I want to say the whole show. You are looking at it as you go to wrestling school to learn a move, to execute it perfectly every minute of every match of every day of your career, which is not the fucking point of a simulated combat.
Yeah.
You know something? Then I don't fucking give two shits if there were more botches. The only thing was the botch at the end because clearly both women were like, "Oh shit, how do we end it now?" And they
had to get to their finish.
Exactly.
After Tatum did her thing.
But if you botch in the middle of a match, I don't care because you know what? I know you've just wrestled for 10 minutes. I know you've had straight action. You're probably tired, and that's my biggest problem with AEW from a wrestler perspective is, guys, we know you're in great cardio shape. We know you're highly trained athletes. Stop doing a move 15 minutes into the match that you would normally do 5 minutes into the match because you're young and spry and fresh. It's too fucking good. Shawn Michaels was perfect because Shawn Michaels, when he got late into a match, would start to oversell, which, whether anyone likes it or not, got the fans more into it. You say there were multiple botches. Okay, I ask you, do they botch when they're in a street fight? Not a WWE wrestling street fight, a real bum fight. Is it perfect? No. So what I'm telling you is that I'm not mad at you for it. I'm not saying you should feel wrong about it. But what you're doing is the exact thing wrong with with wrestling fans finding out terms.
Well, I'll say this, right?
Because
I have no problem with...
you knew how the move should end. Who gives a fuck how the move should end?
I'm not even going to kill...
I'm just worried about the moves. It just looked like something was
the chemistry
off.
That's fine.
Something was off one way or another, but I wasn't sure.
And here's the thing. The reason I'm not killing it as badly is Charlotte's had a few of these in her career, too.
Yeah.
Every wrestler's going to have a few of these. You know what? Let it fucking go. Like, this is their third match, and this is the first time we're seeing these issues. They had an off night.
Yeah.
Like, the reason I get on the AEW shit, I'm like, why does everything have to be perfect? Where's your story?
Yeah.
They were still trying to tell a story, at least.
Like, the amount of times...
Here's the thing. Yeah,
Leroy. Okay, hold on. Again, not at you, at the fans. So, we're going to kill Jade.
Something they've been
Hold
trying
on.
to do for years.
But we're not going to talk about a blind wrestler walking to the top rope to do a fucking dive and Jon Moxley diving into the ring to lay down to take the splash.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't fucking come to me, internet, about them botching, but continuing the match. But Jon Moxley scooching his little butt like he's fucking Cam Bynum, trying to make fun of a seizure that Tua Tagovailoa happened. That was the joke, folks. Move on.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, no, they
he looked to the sky, saw that Commander was in the middle of a move that he couldn't stop. And he jumped in the ring, and yes, hold on, and yes, from a backstage perspective, Jesse, Jon Moxley saved Commander from flat hitting a map. But on television, I watched a man willingly take a wrestling move.
I do want to say this, though, more than the botch. Because I kind of want to get on Joseph's story, even though I fully support him, and I love him. He's doing great stuff. I don't know if he's telling commentary to say that because they did it here with Charlotte.
Yeah.
That's not a Sister Abigail. That's a Sister Abigail to a DDT.
Yeah.
Which is what Alexa does.
Yep.
And it's a tribute, and I love it.
Yeah.
The reason I'm nitpicky about that is because I'm like, no. The Sister Abigail is a spinning flatliner.
Yep.
Can we, if we're gonna pay tribute to Bray,
I agree.
Pay tribute to the guy.
Because that wasn't quite it. Yeah.
Right. Let's not call the DDT part Sister Abigail. It is not. It is not.
And now it's interesting that you said that because I'm going to move on to the last topic that I wanted to have for the show, and it's a topic that might get a little bit emotional here for Jesse. So,
you didn't want to talk about AAA?
Yeah. But no, we'll talk about that. We have to talk about that. But I would say too, the match. I love how they ended it because the story kept going good, and you premiered a great wrestler to come up on SmackDown.
I do want to say, I am intrigued. No,
I love the combination.
Like, so Alexa says she retired the gimmick and now she has her powers back. It's kind of weird. They're gonna have to explain that.
Yeah. The lights went out. She had the brace on her arm.
They did call her Tatum Paxton, so she's still the same character.
Yes. Yeah.
I do like the faction. I'm very intrigued by it.
Yeah. And you were right, Leroy. We'll do that tournament real quick, and then we'll get to the last topic.
Because especially when they were there in ring at the end, where they had Tatum on one side, but then Charlotte put her in the middle of her and Alexa.
That was more of a hug thing.
I know. It was great.
I'm going to cut you off. If you wanted to do the dark fucking queen thing and whatever you're trying to do, then why the fuck would you let the other 5 walk?
I know. But to be fair, I'm not blaming the booking for that. I'm blaming that on TKO.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why would you force them to go?
Yeah.
Because now if she is doing the story, all the Wyatt fans are going to be like, well, the other 5 aren't even with the company anymore.
Right.
So, because, by the way, that was a part of some of their interviews. We expected Alexa back with us within the first year.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. So,
yeah, it's confusing. All right.
I guess we'll see what happens.
We got 2 things left. Let's get through AAA real quick because I have a big question to ask Jesse here at the end.
Yeah, it's like number contender.
Which, by the way, I want to preface by saying it's weird that you wanted this to be in the show so bad because you're going to botch half the names.
No.
Jesse, get ready.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, I said it. I
just get to the tournament. It's fine.
All right. Starting. I think it's starting tonight.
Okay, Let's go. Come on, get to the names. Let's go.
Yeah, it is.
Penta.
Yep. Laredo Kid.
Okay.
Psycho Clown.
And
La Parka.
My boy.
Dragon.
Not La Parka, the Psycho Clown, but I love La Parka.
Psycho Clown. Yeah, right.
Psycho Clown. My boy.
Dragon Lee Verrill versus Dr. Wagner Jr.
Okay.
Wagner Jr.
First of all, El Hijo del Dr. Wagner.
Yeah.
Hey, I can.
He's not. No, seriously.
El Hijo del. Yeah.
You are the guy who sits on this show and wants Jesse and I to continue to make the difference between El Vikingo and El Hijo del Vikingo, but you won't fucking sit here and give that to El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr.?
El Hijo Dr. Wagner Jr.
El Hijo del
Dr. Wagner Jr.
It's a mouthful. All right.
I was going to make a joke there. I'm going to let it go.
I'm aware. Go ahead, Leroy.
I'm letting it go.
Nope.
I would have made the joke.
We're moving past it.
I know
And then-
Exactly. That's why he's not.
And then Ray Phoenix and is it El Fiscal?
We tried to help you.
Fiscal.
We tried to
I
help
don't know him very well.
We tried to help him.
I don't-
Fiscal.
Fiscal. I don't
There
know.
you
I
go.
don't know him very well.
I will not mess up the names. The very last one, he was doing good. Leroy, you tripped at the end. Boy, are you a Minnesota sports fan. Wow.
Hey,
Wow, are
But
you a Minnesota sports fan?
I love
Woo!
the participants are wonderful.
I don't know, Jesse. Would you prefer a maybe competitive match with Penta or just have Roman have a nice, somewhat squashy match with one of the younger guys while in Mexico City?
See, that's the question,
Yeah.
right? Because he's not going to lose.
No, God, no.
But it is possibly lining up that the brothers are going to face each other.
That's not my point. No.
To get to Roman, which
I
would be-
don't
it'll be a
care
great
about the tournament.
match.
Tournament's irrelevant. Don't care. Move on. Gonna be great matches. Don't care. It's like AEW matches. Don't care. What I'm saying is that here's the thing. What is the end result? Is it Penta's going to have a competitive match with Roman? Because Penta's not going to get squashed in Mexico City.
Well, no.
But if it's one of the younger guys, it puts a lot of onus and heat on Roman to beat one of these young guys in a match that they're clearly not ready for. Because the only two people in that fucking tournament that would make any sense for a competitive match in Mexico City are Penta and maybe Ray Phoenix, because Ray hasn't been built to that yet. The rest of these guys, if they face Roman, they're not going to AEW it, which is going to be 20 minutes with a nobody.
So when they announce a tournament, this could be a way to elevate his status, Ray Phoenix Jr.
Sure. It's just Ray Phoenix. There's no junior there.
I guess it's just Ray Phoenix now, but
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see maybe Psycho Clown get this match. Because it's not like you're going to see him again.
Okay. Psycho Clown, I will say.
But that's just my heart. I wouldn't mind seeing
Psycho Clown wouldn't get squashed, but
Right.
I don't think he'd get a Penta version of a match.
It probably wouldn't be as close.
Yeah.
No. This could be for Penta, because clearly they're going to move Penta up.
Yeah, obviously.
The problem with the Penta thing is, man, you got to give this a half an hour to really prove that you're going like, Penta's up here now.
Yeah.
Penta's up here now.
And that's why and that's why I don't think it helps you to have Penta win the tournament.
Because you can do a story with Penta
Exactly.
instead.
Yeah.
If anything, have it be not Laredo, because I think Penta's gonna win at least one or two matches.
It could be Dragon Lee. Because it's so funny, because I'm just like, they get Dragon Lee to these spots when people are really behind him.
Yeah.
He loses, so he cools down a little bit.
Well,
and they get him
maybe-
right back there.
Well, maybe Dragon Lee wins, Roman beats the hell out of him, and then Penta comes out and stops Roman from getting it worse.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do with this. I will give them credit for the integration, because they said they were going to do more of these.
Yeah.
But
And you have this time space before Money in the Bank, so
Yeah.
But I think it is how they're going to show and elevate Penta into that heavyweight scene. However,
it's
they
very
do it.
possible.
Yeah.
I think that's.
But I
where
also
they're
think
going
it's a
for this.
disservice because the aura of Penta was built in WWE by him not taking losses at
Yeah, but
At
I'll say
certain
this.
times.
I'll say this to push back on you. Him losing to Roman is not that big of a
Well,
deal.
okay, hold on. Is it a big
No.
deal if he gets his 30, or is it a big deal if he gets 5?
It's a bigger deal if he gets to 30, and they just let that whole thing play out.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah.
And because
yeah.
then you can say, like, especially if Roman beats him without the help and all that kind of shit, you could go like, hey, Penta almost got his ass. He's going to be back here. They can sell that. He's going to be right back here probably.
And with Penta's pedigree and all that we've watched over the years,
Yeah.
a 5-minute match with Roman, no. It's
Ray would
gonna
probably
be-
get the 5-minute match.
yeah.
Yeah, Ray. Yeah, but Penta,
Though,
no.
to be fair, and I want to be fair, I still remember Buddy Matthews and Roman Reigns. That was only 7 minutes, but it was fucking wonderful.
It was good.
Yeah,
All right, now Leroy.
Yes.
Can I move on to my last topic?
maybe.
Okay.
Oh,
right.
did you have something else you wanted to bring up?
No. There's
Okay.
nothing else
Did you
going
have
on.
something else random that you forgot to put into the pregame notes? Anyway. So, Jesse,
Packers still suck, so it's all right.
There we go. Jesse.
I got arguments.
Jesse, I was actually expecting him to say Jets suck because he, for some reason, hates you on the show. It's weird. But anyway, all right. I'm going to ask the question.
My brother from another mother.
You mentioned it earlier a couple minutes ago. With what's happening in WWE, maybe Triple H gets the book back. Maybe TKO's cooling off, backing up a little bit. Because like you said, normally when we heard reports before what happened at WrestleMania with McAfee and Jelly Roll, or not WrestleMania, but you know what I'm saying, before they came in.
that was all WrestleMania.
Yeah, sorry. Before they came in, every time we heard reports, we normally would believe them. So now if Triple H is back, this and that, we got, Tatum Paxley, this and that. Where do you think the creativity of wrestling has been halted or hindered by the passing of Wyndham Rotunda?
I mean, Leo Rush is attempting to do it now.
Yeah. And by the way, I know what people think we're the anti-AEW. I love Leo. Wait, what a job.
I love Leo. It's just the stories he's on AEW just don't matter. That's the problem.
Yeah. Because, Jesse, all the people trying to be creative, they're getting it from him.
Shotzi is doing some interesting shit because she's working with him.
Yeah.
Listen, Joseph Sawyer is off to a great start on the Indies. Now, by the way he was talking, he's going to end up in TNA because he was just like, I love getting back to the Indies, but I'm so used to being a TV guy now. So that in my brain makes me go, he and probably Shaw are going to sign with TNA. TNA actually might get the whole group outside of Nikki, so they might end up going there anyway.
Yeah.
I do want to say this, though. What's missing is, overall, I think just... I keep saying, because, Roman is a very interesting character.
Yeah.
Seth is interesting just because of his history.
Sure.
So the history of Seth Rollins has always made him interesting. But what you miss with a guy like Wyndham was wrestling doesn't really have the fantastical element. And I keep saying, I don't give a shit sometimes when the old school has, besides The Undertaker, this has never really worked, which is just not true.
Sure.
What Bray allowed was a sense of creativity. He allowed the other wrestlers he was working with to come into the story and work with it.
And I think that is so misunderstood, and not Triple H's fault because he was being honest about an interview. I think that's what gets misunderstood when people hear Triple H say, okay, how do we get to the next thing? He was a genius, but he allowed others to come up with ideas,
right.
And he tried to integrate those ideas. He believed in creativity where the person themselves didn't believe in it. He through all those moments with Alexa was just like, I think that there's more to than him just being a nice guy when it's like, we'll try that again. And we won't screw up. And by we, I mean me.
By we, I mean me.
But that's the thing. He was always willing to make himself look stupid for the creativity of others.
Yeah.
And that not stupid in the sense of he looked stupid. He was willing to do the things that were maybe too left field. And that's where I think the creativity of wrestling is now. Everyone doesn't understand that, TKO said something. And make yourself known. Make yourself different.
So, like I said, what we miss right now is that intriguing, all-engrossing character. I keep saying the Fiend really was the best character since The Undertaker. I like how many people were just enthralled by that character.
I was legitimately actually kind of scared when I first saw him.
Seriously, I went back to rewatch the SummerSlam debut.
It scared my kids.
I rewatched the SummerSlam debut with the wrestlers' reaction, and I'm like, well, you could do that to not just fans, but the people who know you backstage.
Yeah.
That's special, brother. That's special. And then Vince kind of ruined it with, I'm going to have all the red around you. And I'm like, he didn't need it.
No.
The whole point of his face, and it was supposed to just be the ghost of him and all that shit. But The Fiend was such an enthralling character. The beginning of the Wyatt Six stuff. Now, that's why the sadness of him passing sucked, because he was supposed to be the guy that pulled all them in.
Yep.
And by the way, I thought Bo was, especially, I told people, everyone said, man, those first two fucking video promos from Bo, sensational. Like like the first one made people cry. Like, what was I supposed to do? Let my brother become a mausoleum? And people were like, dude, I fucking cried. Like what? Yeah, what would I do? Would I just let my brother's memory just die and fade? Like, it was such a cool. He was trying to real life integrate into real life. We're not supernatural characters. Maybe we're a little too crazy kind of deal.
And that's the part that I always.
Right now, you're missing that in pro wrestling. Now Leo does it.
Yeah, and that's what I hate the most about what TKO said. And unfortunately, back to earlier when Leroy brings up what the fans are thinking, I get mad when fans go, "It's spooky and supernatural." I'm like, is it? Is it really? There's elements to it, but at the same time, I'll be honest, outside of the stuff in the swamp, the Wyatt family was really modern day cult.
It was ahead of its time. It was a cult.
Yeah.
It was ahead of its time.
The man studied cult leaders. He wanted to know what serial killers were like. And that's the biggest thing for me.
And that was a scary thing because he was on his own, he was dangerous.
Yeah.
But then the fact he got these three giants of men to believe in what he was doing,
and that's the thing
made them scary.
And that's the thing that I think Vince messed up on.
Oh, for sure.
And that's what I think TKO wasn't willing to let Triple H see out was, Jesse, the man doesn't pass away. I think we learn how to take the Fiend on television. And what I mean by that is to not see it as a spooky character, but to see it as, Jesse, there are a lot of, you know what? I'll go to the movie. Halloween.
Sure.
Mike Myers wore that mask and became something more than what Mike Myers was beforehand in the lore. Obviously, they didn't go into it. Like, thank God they've never made a prequel to Halloween. It would have killed the whole thing. But like,
to be fair, Rob Zombie might have done the best job of pre-storytelling.
Sure, yeah.
Kind of origin, kind of.
Because the origin, with the whole kid, the snapping and all that. Now he did a better job than the original movie because the original movie made it seem like he snapped because he saw his sister fucking. That's weird.
Right? Yeah.
But Rob made it seem like no, he snapped because of the abuse. And then he saw his sister get more love, and then in her moments of like this pure ecstasy and joy, he just said "fuck it" and killed her.
Right, yeah. But that's my thing is that I think if we would have just allowed, I'm unfortunately speaking on he doesn't pass away, but like, okay, let's now go to Bo being told the ending. I think the problem for me was they were allowed to be on TV so infrequently.
Yeah.
That, Jesse, I don't deny that the fans saw it as supernaturally spooky. When in reality, I think the more that it would have happened, the more that Bo was able to tell the story, and maybe the rest of the Wyatt Six talk and explain. All of a sudden, the magic is gone, and the real human element, which Bray always tried to put into the things. Look, man, everyone's like, yes, thank God they stopped Vince from putting him in a dress. Thank fucking God that didn't happen. But like,
Sister Abigail thing.
But like, Jesse,
like it was good he got the flu that time.
Yeah. But Jesse,
that's a good thing.
It's like the more I go back and I listen to the old promos and I watch the totality of the story, people. And Leroy, you and I have had this conversation before. It's the story of the Bible. People found a false idol. It doesn't mean it was real. Sister Abigail existed to Bray. Have we not learned from serial killers that whatever voices existed?
Well, and then he actually kind of explained it with the match with Braun.
Yeah.
Through Braun, she looked like Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Through
Bray.
Through Eric Redbeard, she looked like someone Eric Redbeard knew. Like the entity, quote unquote, looked like somebody they knew.
Yeah.
But the entity was never really real. It was you were seeing it, but it really wasn't.
And
real.
that's where I hope that TKO shuts the fuck up. It's not just for ticket sales. It's not just for families to afford it. It's not just for the betterment of the business and the veterans and the not cutting people for whatever fucking reason. It's that I don't agree with Jim Cornette that wrestling always has to be a man and a man fight over a real man's problem.
Right.
I can enjoy the entertainment of the Americans versus the Russians. I can enjoy the American hero versus the Sheik. I can enjoy these things.
What makes me laugh sometimes, and I like I said, I do respect Eric Bischoff and those guys, but I'm like, so you don't like the spooky dooky stuff, but The Undertaker wasn't successful for 30 years? A cornerstone in pro wrestling?
Mm-hmm.
People revere Mark Calloway because of that. That was a spooky character. That all came from the mind of Vince McMahon, who wanted to do some horror shit. And Mark Calloway became the living embodiment of it and protected the shit out of it.
Now, my question to you is, Jesse, and maybe it's a really hard question, but was Bray trying to be supernatural?
He always said the Fiend wasn't supposed to be supernatural. The Fiend was supposed to be his punishments and everybody else's. Because it went back to an old promo he cut when he was initially WWE champion about the Man in the Woods.
Yes. Great promo, by the way. One of his best.
So I'm like, yeah, it took 2 years to then get to the character because it's Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
But, I'm like that promo basically explained what the Man in the Woods was. The Man in the Woods is all of our worst feels of our failures. And the Fiend was supposed to be his punishment because the whole thing about him doing the kids thing was he was trying not to remember the bad shit he did, but the Fiend would come out because the Fiend was the protector of the children, but the punishment for Bray and everybody else. And then the whole Six thing got lost, and then he passed away because the Six thing was supposed to be, man, I did a lot of bad shit, but I no longer do shit for myself.
Well, but Jesse, here's the weird thing. People throughout history have felt different when they become something other than themselves.
Right.
The Fiend was presented because of the red lights, because of the fucking whatever. Jesse, would it have been so hard? Hear me out. Would it have been so hard to just explain to people, Bray Wyatt is filming these things called the Firefly Funhouse and then giving them to us to play in the truck? We know it's not real. We know it's bullshit. I think they killed the Funhouse when people started to
showing
go
the fuck
in
up
it.
in there, yeah. Yeah.
Even though we saw it as funny when Adam Pearce was the postal worker, I actually don't think that Seth being there as Seth would have been bad if they would have always said, Bray's got a set somewhere, we don't know where it is. But when you kept telling us it is a supernatural, funny gimmick in his head, it doesn't actually exist, then when Seth shows up as himself,
because I thought
it doesn't make any sense.
The best part about Adam Pearce showing up was Adam Pearce was freaked the fuck out by what he was wearing. He's like, what the fuck am I doing in all this?
But I also think it led into the supernatural, which, like you said, was never the point.
Right.
If the Fiend was, because again, Alexa was right in the fucking documentary. Somebody pulled off the split personality.
Correct.
If the fucking tweed sweater Mr. fucking Rogers shows up and has no recollection other than video evidence that a different day he's the Fiend, you can tell the story that Bray Wyatt snapped and then became the Fiend.
Which was supposed to be the story.
But Bray Wyatt
has no recollection of the Fiend.
Becoming the Fiend.
Correct.
Because when you snap, we've all seen it in good movies. When you snap, you go put on the mask.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're basically blacking out.
Yeah.
Is what it is. And that's where, again, Vince, if you just would have listened to the guy and understood that don't try to be 80s Vince with the Repo Man.
Because it was just like, oh, I love a good horror movie character. But that's not what it was supposed to be.
And that's the thing. And unfortunately, Vince...
Yeah, because those old vignettes like if you in the documentary you heard they showed video of the wrestlers squashing, and they're just like, this is fucking crazy.
And by the
bro.
way, Jesse, Vince fucked it up by letting everyone know, well, we're bringing in Rob Fee. Rob should have been there. I agree with you. But Rob wasn't trying to make it B-movie horror.
Well, and then when Rob was brought in to do the White Six stuff, it's because him and his brother knew where he was trying to go with the Wyatt stuff.
Yeah.
Which was, I'm going to use what I've done to now put all the other people over. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, his whole thought was he was supposed to come back around when they told him, why don't we have you work with LA Knight? His whole thing was, we'll come back around to it. So then when he beats me, he's going to even be way more over, which, by the way, it did help him. It
actually worked.
It actually worked because he was just like, once he does beat me too, it's going to be this huge fucking thing. And to give Bobby Lashley credit, Bobby's like, I'm actually willing to lose to this character because like what it'll allow me to do is really go after the WWE title.
But the problem is that, again, the reason why maybe it didn't work out with Brock, and maybe Brock was hesitant, the reason why other people were, was
Paul
because
talked about, like,
Vince sold it as supernatural.
Well, Paul Heyman said initially Brock was like, I don't know if I really want to do this. It was easier to work with The Undertaker because The Undertaker had already 20 years of history.
Yeah.
So but when he re-described it to Brock actually was on board. Vince pulled Brock from it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, Brock said no, so Brock's not going to do it. And then
because
apparently
Vince,
Brock was like, well.
Because again, and the biggest issue ever in the history of wrestling, because Vince saw it as supernatural. Right. The problem is that if you couldn't convince Vince of your actual idea, and if he got a different idea in his head, tough shit, you're going the way Vince does because he has the pen. Right. But that was the thing. Triple H was like, how do we translate it to television, which was code for, okay, I know it's not spooky. I know it's not. You know what's funny? People relate spooky and supernatural to Scooby-Doo. Technically, Scooby-Doo was never supernatural. Everything was fake.
It was gadgets and always a man in a mask.
That was the point.
That was the point.
Now, yes, once in a while there were real ghosts playing into the pagan idea of ghosts exist. Right. The witch's ghost, one of the all-time
By the way,
greats.
it was also a cartoon, so you can do that.
Well, exactly.
Yes.
But the truth is, the true understanding of Scooby-Doo was somebody who just didn't snap, but saw a way to use the superstitions against people. And the Bayou is famous for freaking people out because of the stories and the gators and all this stuff.
Like I said, apparently once Vince ended up, the scandal happened, unfortunately, a little bit after he passed away. So that was the other unfortunate part. Because that's where I was just like, he finally had a chance. Yeah. With Triple H, he finally had a chance. And so, because it was Triple H that brought him back, and then Vince came back in the weeds and all that shit. That's, but that's the timeline. But, but because Triple H was telling Brock, no. The sixth guy, like, because Bray was like, I'm going to take the loss, but this is kind of what I want you to sell. And Paul was breaking it down to Brock as, you're going to just sell pure fucking frustration of, I usually put these motherfuckers down. He keeps coming back. Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Do I have to kill him? That was going to be the story with him and Brock.
Which, by the way, I'm saying the obvious, but this is how you needed to approach Bray. Wasn't supernatural. Sometimes dudes just enjoy pain.
Right.
We've seen Ilya Dragunov.
I thought, he's like the perfect character of that, because like that's kind of what Uncle Howdy was. He was getting suplex. He was taking pain. He was laughing at it.
Yeah.
Like it's the freak you out mentality. Is he laughing at it?
We've gotten to the point that I was trying to get people to understand. We didn't lose spooky wrestling when we lost Bray Wyatt.
We lost creative.
Lost creative wrestling because Jesse, what has sold the most entertainment is getting people to believe something beyond the world.
Right.
But Bray really was telling stories, and I actually choke up because, like,
Shit, you choke.
Need to Breathe. I will never be able to listen to another song by you because that one is so beautiful. The Ever Known, by the way, is the name of the song.
Oh, okay.
No, it was the tribute song they used to Bray when he passed away. This song's beautiful. By the way, I will never be able to listen to it in any other context other than that. May he rest in peace, but fucking Three Doors Down, Here Without You is not about a woman. That's about Eddie Guerrero to me. I'm sorry, it is. But it's like, no, it's just the man was not selfish by any means. The man was willing to do a lot of what I've been good at in my life.
Was supposed to set it on fire without being in there.
Right.
So apparently the original story was supposed to be Brace cutting the promo.
Yeah.
And then it catches on fire.
Yeah.
And you actually see it collapse within itself.
Yeah.
Seth's laughing because he's like, I fucking found it. I set it on fire.
Yeah.
He can't torture me anymore. But then as he gets up, he was supposed to kind of be putting on the mask. You see him put on the mask.
Sure.
And that was supposed to be the last shot of Raw.
Yeah.
But then Vince went, wouldn't it be better though if he went in there and he set it on fire and told him to burn it down because that's his catchphrase? No, nigga.
Yeah.
Because it's not supposed to be supernatural.
Because, Jesse, what Bray was trying to do, and by the way, folks, this is not us speculating and, like, you know,
I mean, this is just the facts of it all.
Yeah, Jesse, sometimes when you know you have that split personality, which Bray Wyatt was aware of,
Right.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was aware of the Fiend, when you lose everything, embrace the Fiend.
Right.
Embrace the split personality.
Right.
And by the way, I'm not trying to compare myself to Bray. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm the type of person that if I have a friend, whoever came to me and said, I'm really nervous about doing something, I will put on a fucking panda suit and stand next to you, and you will look better by comparison.
Sure.
I have no shame. He was willing to let others feel nerves, but
Right.
take them upon himself.
Right.
And yes, the creative minds are sometimes hard to bring back. But, like...
Because really quick, would you ever consider Sting a spooky character?
No.
But
Because
damn
the
it.
Crow was
Right.
never a spooky character. Even though, yes, he come back from... Like,
Technically, he came up from the dead and all that.
yeah,
But, like,
yeah.
Sting's reiteration of it was he's a vigilante against the bad guys.
Yeah.
So he has control of the lights, so he'll kill the lights. Remember, they used to show him with the lights on, just sitting in the fucking rafters. Like a
For
weirdo.
a year.
Right.
The man literally
Yes.
got paid to go to TV for a year to just walk back and forth.
Right.
So I will end the segment before we go home, and I will ask you this. Do you believe, as a true follower of the Wyatts,
Sure.
was there ever... Take away Vince. I want the
Right.
Wyndham era. I want the
Sure.
Wyndham lore.
Sure.
Was there ever supernatural oogie boogie to it?
There wasn't supposed to be. There was always supposed to be an explanation. Well, why are they there when the lights cut back on? Because they controlled them. They controlled the lights. They did it. I know you always want to kind of keep a mystique of when you got the characters that do the lights out thing. So like Aleister Black. But Aleister Black was always supposed to be a little bit like an assassin.
Yeah.
He killed the lights. They got them back on. By the time they got them back on, he's already behind you. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, like, it wasn't supposed to be spooky wooky. Kind of like The Undertaker already was a spooky wooky character.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be based in real life. It's a serial killer.
Yeah.
And it got... Listen, it was still very successful.
But it got Vincified.
But it got Vincified. And then, of course, we lost him. And the beginnings of the Y6 stuff was so good. And I
because
don't know why
Jesse, nothing was supernatural about them annihilating the backstage.
No.
They just beat the fuck out of everybody.
They warned for months and months that they were going to show up and make motherfuckers bleed.
And they did.
And that's what they did.
Really does tell you, at the end of the day, anyone who says to you, and this is my final point, thank you for walking with me to get to it. Anyone who ever says bring Vince back, fuck you.
Why, so creative can just be dog shit again?
No show next Monday to be put out Tuesday. The show will be done on Friday, put out when the editing is done.
Well, Saturday.
Saturday.
And then
No. The show will be done on Saturday, put out when editing is finished.
Yes.
Thank you all for listening.
We'll probably get to it by Tuesday.
We will hope.
I hope so.
We have a busy time.
We have a busy week.
We hope to see as many of you as possible at
Absolutely.
Excalibur Con. And I will say on the show, because we live this, please bring whatever topic you would like. We are an open book. We are willing to give the microphone to you, the fans. And this is our first opportunity, with many more to come. Jesse has these plans down the line.
Yes.
To give all of you the real and true honesty of this podcast. Your words will make the show that makes the airwaves.
That's right.
That is a promise from myself to El Presidente, to our treasurer. You will be allowed to have your voice and your opinion on a forever internet platform. Just please come up to us and ask for the mic. That's right. All I will say.
We'll probably have a sign there.
Yep.
I will give you the mic, and I'll make you sound beautiful like I do to these guys all the time.
Don't make them sound like us. Make them sound better. Thank you all.
Okay,
Thank you all so very much. We will see you hopefully at ExcaliburCon, but we will, in the world of podcasting, see you all next week.
Bye-bye.